Freedom, I never had the chance to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond a shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe, and I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground so we can fly again, so we can fly again. I've been trying hard not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift
more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature.
your feet. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, get the body till we black out. So get the fuck up.
had the chance to run, leave behind the said and done, figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. is going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow doubt, and I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now, and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me. Oh.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I, only you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport, here for the round 19 and 20 of the season. We're in for an absolute cracking evening, and we're in for a great night of driving. No BT Targa, and as of yet, no Emo Guy, no Maze Gamer out there as well, and that's a shame because all three of them would have been on their double points. BT Targa, though, at work and cannot attend tonight's event. But I'm Matthew Duffin in the commentary box, joined once again by my partner in crime on a Thursday night at the moment, Jamie Brazier. Jamie, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Matt. How are you?
Very good, thank you, buddy. Are we looking forward to tonight's racing?
Oh yeah, absolutely ecstatic for tonight's racing.
Who do we think is going to be the man to watch or men to watch tonight? A lot of McLarens out there, one obviously missing in BT, but one in particular, Dan, has a big title challenge on his hands with Andy.
Oh yeah, he does. They're the two men to watch out for tonight. I think as well, the dark horse tonight could be Gary 131, but I think it's just going to be the main two of Dan and Andy that are going to be the main focus for tonight.
Yeah, completely agree with you. I'm going to quickly run through the championship standings, and as it stands at the minute, Andy leads the way 15 points clear of Dan due to his drop score last week. Dan then in second place with Fury in third, 74 behind. Gary's P4, he's 132 back. BT Targa P5 not here tonight, he's 150 back. How he could have came into play with his double points. Xmart then in P6, 182 back. He cannot win the championship. He's the first driver who cannot win it. D Biggs then in P7. He's 10 points behind Xmart, looking to try and get on the back of him and gain an extra place. Kieran Argent then in P8. Good season for Kieran Argent this year. He's had a fantastic drive. He'll be happy with that. 6 points clear of Sutty Apex, who's on double points. Emo Guy would be on double points if he is able to get in. He's P10, some 6 behind Sutty. 10 behind Emo Guy is Peaceful Explosion. Monkey Boy, some 9 behind him, with KLF moving out the relegation zone for the first time this season into P13 and on 104 points, some nearly 20 points clear of Disco McDisco Facebook. Disco on double points tonight will want a good one. Maze Gamer again would be on double points, but he's not here, so won't be taking them just yet. And Little Each at the bottom on 85 can go above Maze Gamer tonight if Maze Gamer isn't to turn up to this one tonight. Constructors' Championship looks like this then. Shake and Bake Motorsport lead the way, 50 points clear of Slingshot Motorsport, with Disco, though, having double points. That could really bring Slingshot Motorsport into this race. Sandbags Motorsport are on 89 points, but with no Emo Guy, Fury's having to do it on his own. Team Prolapse then are fourth on 360. They're 36 behind Sandbags Motorsport. Leech Motorsport are some 61 behind Team Prolapse. They really need Little Leech to start firing now and get up that standings and get the points scored. The tight battle at the bottom of the table, though, is Audio Sport Pro Labs, are 10 clear of Forever Forward Racing, who are 5 clear of Simplay Racing at the bottom. And Jamie, 15 points separating the top two, with Disco on double points, 50 points in that constructors battle. The two McLarens of Shake and Bake, Dan and D Biggs, and the two BMWs of Slingshot Motorsport of Andy and Disco. This could be a cracking night's bit of driving.
Oh yeah, definitely could. Both championships are both still on, so they're both really close. So it could go either way. But it's the BMW versus the McLaren versus the McLaren for the constructors and for the drivers.
Yeah, and this is one of the biggest and best things that we see here at Simplay when the titles start to go down to the wiring, and it gets a bit exciting, doesn't it? You kind of have that excitement to being back for the start of the season, then you kind of a lull in the middle period, and then you get excited again at the end. Who's in the chat? Smoky Devil, evening all. Let's see how tonight's pro drivers do. Evening to Fury's granddad, who says, evening all, good luck, come on Fury. Evening PM Motorsport. Mummy D in the chat, evening guys, are we ready for another action-packed drive? Yes we are. Evening to Disco but Disco Face says, evening folks, good luck all tonight. And evening to the man who needs the biggest shout out of them all, Smithy Smith, my teammate, who says, evening all, Season 5 Pro-Am Constructors champ here. Thanks to all the fans and support each week. And my teammate for all the points he got for the team, Mr. Duffin. Smithy, you are the GOAT. You are an absolute legend. Couldn't have done it without you, buddy. What a job you did. I actually did a quick video on the TikTok today that I'm able to screen record now on my phone. So we're able to screen record the moment me and Smithy won the Constructors and put it on the Simplay Motorsport TikTok. I was sat at McDonald's at the time as well. But enough about promoting McDonald's. Little Each on the track, Jamie, not having a season he'd enjoy. I'm going to pop to the toilet. Just tell the viewers about his season really so far and how he can improve from there.
Yeah, he's definitely not having the season he's used to. Season 1, season 2, even season 3, he was up there fighting for the wins. I remember him winning it at Kota in a title battle, with getting wins and winning the constructors. Because let's not forget, Little Each is a 2 times constructors champion. So yeah, he really needs to pull his finger out for these last 3 races and hope that he stays in the pro. He looks like he's struggling. He's really struggling. He's gone wide at the final corner and he's gone back to the pits. Go on to Disco Face. He has struggled as well. I know he's missed a few nights due to moving, but yeah, he needs a good night with his double points tonight, because if not, he is in real trouble. And as well, he can help his teammate a lot with the constructors battle. Good night, 2 podiums, and he throws it. Yeah, it'd be away from the drop. He'd be away from the drop zone. You'd help Andy a massive amount with the constructors, and can hopefully get, or for his sake, hopefully get in the way of the Shake and Bake McLarens. Fury the quickest at the minute. He's looking very quick, 4/10 quicker than anyone else. And Him and Disco are the only ones in the 22s. The next person is Sutty on a 124 dead. So the others really need to play catch up to catch these two. But I imagine we'll see some very good times from Unorthodox and Andy later on. Yeah, and just as you were saying that. Sorry, Jim, just as you were saying that as well, it is interesting to see that, like, Monkey Boy clearly not got a clean lap in, Little Each and Andy, Peaceful and Dan as well, that's even slower. I was running 25s a lot last night, which is where D-Biggs and X-Mart seem to be, so 26 and slower, that does seem to be like they've not got a proper run in at it yet. But I was going to say, it all depends what tyres they're running at the minute, because if they're running the hard tyres, that'll take it at least two and a bit laps to just warm them up. Was a big debate last night, wasn't it? What tyres to use? Like you say, hards, softs. Hards will take a couple of laps in the practice session to get up to temperature before you start seeing the good times. Softs will be up to temperature pretty much straight away, but can anybody make them last? I think everybody last night that I know of was on the hard tyre. I was myself.
We saw Kelly, though, last week. He ran the soft in both races, didn't he? And it seemed to work for him. He had a good double points round at Ruapuna Park, and going to be interesting to see what he can do as he goes into this one tonight.
Yeah, I think Kelly is the GT3 equivalent of Sergio Perez, making the tyres last ungodly amount of time.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think he had a better last week, didn't he? There was a bit of questions over it at Long Beach. I know me and himself had a little chat and said a few things to each other, and that all got sorted and resolved, and he came to Ruapuna, and he was just a different driver last week. He was fantastic to see him running by the front of the pack again. As Sutty's gone into third place then, ahead of Gary, or was he already in third? No, I think he was already in third.
He was in third already on a 124 dead.
Yeah, there's his teammate just exiting the pits then. Evening to Welshie and Peaceful Stepdad in the chat as well, and Mike Matthews.
Yeah, so with the pit lane, it's very easy to spin on the exit of the pit lane because it's a weird.
I actually nearly did. In race 2, I actually nearly did last night. You sort of brake into that curve, and I nearly lost the rear.
Yeah, see, as well, because it's quite a narrow pit exit, you put a wheel on the gravel at all and you're spinning round. I think everyone will admit that they've done it at least once where they've spun it. I think someone's off at this corner. Oh, that's Little Leach
and Mike. No, Monkey Boy. No, you're right. Yeah, well, good shout. Monkey Boy and Little Leach there. It's easy to lose it where they are as well, because you can just run out wide at that corner and just get onto the dirty stuff and just run out and lose the rear of the car, and that can hurt you as well.
Yeah, so if you take too much of the corner before, say take it too tightly, the car will just throw you out wide and end up on the gravel. I think you've seen in tests, and I think you saw me do it quite a few times.
A couple of times, yeah. Yourself a couple of times. I know I've done it a couple of times as well, and then you've got the likes of Dean and others who's done it as Fiore. Is that a mistake, or is that him just getting well out the way as X-Mart and Monkey Boy are into the pits? Where's Peaceful, currently up in 5th place?
Yeah, again, no one really put in the top.
Let's get the speedo loaded, Jim. Let's kind of see what fuel runs people are running in this practice session. You see Dan there. He must have gone onto the softs to do a quali run, but I mean, has he had 10 minutes on the hards, and that's why he's in the 24s? Do we reckon? Because that pace isn't great, is it, at the minute?
No, but say I've seen him on the hards, and he's a lot quicker than that, especially as he's running low fuel. I know he's been at least 6 tenths quicker than me in practice.
Who's that just gone up the list? D Biggs has just gone into third then with a 23.5. So D Biggs flying up the standings in this session at the minute. It's the only bit of track limits you'll have to drivers will have to keep an eye out for tonight. Is that where D Biggs was there coming down the start line? Is Dan coming through the last corner? Or if we could let's just jump on board Dan's cockpit, or Dan's roof camera, or bonnet cameras. Dan improves by a second and goes up to 4th. Andy himself has gone second. So you've got to be careful. You don't want to cross this white line. You've got to have 2 wheels on the inside of that white line. Otherwise, that will be track limits and you could face a penalty there. And that is pretty much the only part of the track limits around here, isn't it? There's not many more to take, just that one. You don't want to open up yourself a good braking zone into turn 1.
Ooh, Andy's gone into second, 5 thousandths off Fury. Yeah, there's probably 2 more that you could take track limits on. Dan's now about to come up. He comes up just at the end of this.
Yes, this left-hander, yeah.
This left-hander, you can just take too much of it, but it can punish you. So that what Dan done there was fine. He runs a little bit wide and into the corkscrew as well. The left and the right-hander, you can take a bit of track limits here.
You can take a lot off, but I think the track limits here would bite you because there's dips just at both that would absolutely hurt you if you was to take the track limits as you go through there. But Dan did the corkscrew quite nice. Let's just stay on board Dan then to finish this lap off with him and see what his time's going to be as he comes then into the penultimate corner. Left-hander to go. Ooh, a bit deep there. The thing is with the outside of these curbs here is it's just like a gravelly, dusty part of the circuit, and it can kind of keep you there a little bit. That doesn't want to get the car back out of it. A lot like the grass. He improves by half a second, just under. Goes to a 23 dead. And all of a sudden, Dan's sitting up the top end of the leaderboard, but he's some 9/10 slower than Andy. But again, qualifying's one thing, Jamie. Race pace is another. We saw last night, and Plava took pole by some 0.6 of a second, but didn't do it in race 1.
Yeah, so it all depends how good a race setup everyone's got.
Yeah. It's also another thing is it's on that edge of hard to soft tyres. Softs will work, but may get too hot towards the end, especially on a challenging track like this one with the long corners. But the hards just seem to take a while to get up to their performance. So it is interesting to see what could happen. If Dan's on the hards and Andy's on the softs, does that give Dan the advantage? Does the McLaren like the hards better than the BMW at the minute? We're not quite at that window where you can sit there and say, oh yeah, it's hard weather tyres, practice, qualifying, race.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's definitely the crossover point. I know Unorthodox has said that the McLaren doesn't like the hards whatsoever. I don't know whether that's just how he drives the car that it makes the hard tyres not like it. You have to speak to some of the other McLaren drivers to see whether it's just because say it's a bit like the Mercedes. The Mercedes doesn't like the soft tyres, does it?
From my experience, no, but Mazda, Peaceful, Monkey Boy, and Argent, I don't know about Fury, but they'll all tell you it loves the soft tyre. But for me, hard tyre all day long in the Mercedes. It's an aggressive car that chews through the tyres. Evening to M. Plava in the chat. Welshie, Plava, you checking out the competition for next season, he says. As it was confirmed last night that me and M. Plava are promoted, and that promotion spot has been guaranteed. And we are then confirmed as first and second, but in which way, well, it will be decided next week and the week after at Spa. Now, is it me or does Andy's car look a bit beaten up there?
Yeah, it does. I wonder whether he's definitely hit the wall.
21s.
Yeah.
21s. We've seen our first 21 tonight, then a 21.8 so far in practice. And Andy currently doing the business on that one, 0.3 quicker this lap. He pulls to the side and lets his teammate past. And Andy, again in qualifying, Jamie, you can't look past this guy.
No, but look at the fuel he was running. He's running 5 litres of fuel. And when he crossed the line, he had 0.06 litres of fuel.
Clearly running it tight and clearly knowing the limits of what you can do in qualifying. Look at that, 5 litres as he exits the pit lane, 4.8 already. So he clearly knows, his limits for qualifying. And you have to say that Andy, he's been better in the races this year and he's been more consistent. But this guy is a qualifier. If you want someone to drive in an endurance race and you go, right, who's qualifying, lads? You're chucking the keys to the car to Andy.
Yeah, you look at from season 2 when he first joined us, he was putting the car on pole. I think that was a Lamborghini. He struggled with a Ginetta in season 3. He was still putting that on pole position.
He was
still really quick on one lap pace. So whatever car you chuck him in, he is quick on a one lap shootout.
He is, and this is something that's Andy's benefited from this year, especially having the extra point for the pole position. Has that helped him? Has that benefited him in any way, shape or form to get him back to where he needs to be in terms of fighting for a title? In fact, let's go through this, actually, before we even get into qualifying. Dan, let's put this into context. Dan, the most ever race wins. Andy, the most ever pole positions. Dan this season has had 1 pole position, right? Andy has had 8. Now that by itself, that's 8 more points, but eight pole positions sets you up for the race, doesn't it? You look at the race wins this year. Andy's had 3, Dan's had 7. Andy's just been that little bit more consistent than Dan, which has got him 15 points clear. But these two, let's talk this season at least. Andy has dominated qualifying, Dan has dominated the races. The only other drivers with 3 wins is Fury. BT Targas took 2 himself, and Gary's took 1 himself. Looking at the other pro drivers, Disco's got a race win to his name, and that's it. The others are all Pro-Am drivers that's got wins to their name in Season 5. So Dan has really set the bar in the races. 7 race wins to Andy and Fury's 3. No one else has won more than 3 second place, in terms of the wins this season. The pole positions, Andy's took 8. The next best driver is Maze Gamer with 3. So they're 2 different drivers, aren't they? And Andy has said it before in an interview. He'd love to turn these pole position conversion rate into more wins. Struggles to do that. But in the qualifying, you kind of can't look any further than Andy in the race. It's hard to look past Dan.
Yeah, say though with Andy getting pole, he's more or less on the podium. I think the only exception has been Long Beach, really.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Andy this season, 5th place race 2 at Red Bull Ring, 5th place race 2 at Brno, and then 11th place race 1 at Ruapuna Park. Even at Long Beach, he got a 2nd and a 3rd. So Andy's had 3 races where he's not got a podium. 2 of them races was a 5th place. 1 was an 11th at Ruapuna, where he ended up a lap down last week. So you have to take it to him. Whereas you look at that compared to Dan, Watkins Glen race 2, he got 4th. Hockenheim race 1, he got 8th. Bruno, he didn't get a podium at all. He got a 7th and an 8th that week. Alton Park race 2, he got 4th. Long Beach race 1, he got 4th. So Dan's had a lot more cases of being off the podium than Andy, and that is the consistency. Yes, he's had 7 race wins, but when you look at Andy, I mean, how many second places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 second places in 18 races. You know, that's one short of half his races have been second place. You know, that's the consistency you kind of need. And who said it the other night? I think it was Mazda said it the other night on a chat, Jamie, that Colin Turkington in a touring car season won 1 race.
That was 2018.
2018. I knew you'd know what year. He won 1 race and won the championship. 1 race win.
That was, I believe as well. That was Alton Park race 2.
And so it wasn't even his favourite track, Croft. You know, 1 race win to his name, and he won that race. But that shows you what the kind of season that Andy's having. He's having a Colin Turkington season where he may not need to risk that fight for the win at the beginning of the season. Now,
as well, that kind of it reminds me of Ash Sutton last season. Him saying, "I'm going to be Mr. Consistent." Say, I'll just drop.
Yeah, that's like the corkscrew. That's a big one.
Yeah, say him getting the podium positions, not seeing the Ash Sutton of old going for desperate moves. I think that's the same as Andy. You watch Andy go used to. Say you look in season 3, sees
making moves that maybe he shouldn't have done.
Season 2, season 3, he overdrove the car. Overdriven the car. Went for moves that just were never on. But he's learned from that. As well, I think Dan's a bit of, if we're using touring car terminology, I think he's a bit of a Rob Collard. Doesn't qualify particularly well, but
turns up in the races. I will agree with you on that one. That is the best term you could give, Danny. Is a Rob Collard. Doesn't qualify. I mean, it's not like he qualifies poorly, but doesn't get the pole, but comes through the pack for the wins. And I think one thing this year for Dan is the McLaren. Obviously, changed from the Porsche. His title-winning car, he's gone to the McLaren. Bruno, I'm looking at especially a 7th and an 8th on his double points. Did he just overdrive the McLaren a bit, and that's what cost him? Obviously, a few incidents. He got caught up with Argent spinning and got caught out in that one. But was it things like that that's cost Dan? Either way, we're about to find out what's going to happen in this qualifying session. As Peaceful's crossed the line, I think someone's coming in the pits. They have now. So the practice session is over. And for Andy, he is the quickest man on track. Dan, at the minute, 1.1 seconds behind. But as we know, practice means nothing. It all happens in the qualifying session. We've lost Gary, so hopefully we can get Gary back in, because this isn't the online championships this week. You've got to make sure you're back in before the 2-minute mark, otherwise you will not make race 1. Now then, Jamie, we've just bigged up qualifying and races. Who's your tip for pole position?
I think you know who my tip for pole position is.
I think it's the same as mine. It's hard to look anywhere else other than Andy, so I'm going to say Andy once again. And we are underway. And who's the first man out on track? Would you believe it's Andy?
It's Andy, followed by his teammate.
So the Slingshot Motorsport boys getting out there very, very quickly. Guys, girls, hit that thumbs up button in the chat. If you are watching, hit that thumbs up button. Let's get this video to 20 plus likes. Don't forget to join us on Saturday for the World Endurance Championship, 6 hours of Fuji, where I'll be bringing you live action of all of that. So that'll be an interesting one.
Look how much he's running. I think he put about 5 litres of fuel. What's Disco running? Disco's running. Look how much more Disco's running. He must have put in about 15 litres of fuel.
He is running. You know, Andy must know what to do with these qualifying runs because he's running so empty. He's going to get one flying lap out of this, and it's got to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, let's see what everyone's running. Little Leach is running just over 12 litres. Argent 22 litres.
That seems a lot for Argent.
Monkey Boy 9, D-Diggs 8, X-Smart 17, and North Dix is running 8, KLF 12, Fury's running 23 as well, so both Mercedes are running quite high.
Maybe that's what the Mercedes like to do then, run with a higher fuel to get the better lap time out of it. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you are new. There is a poll out now. Who will get pole position? Vote for who you think is going to get pole, Andy on Orthodox, Fury or Gary, and let us know who you think by giving the poll. Someone's already voted Dan straight away, so someone clearly wasn't listening to our build-up and the statistics of pole position, as they've already voted Dan. But either way, it's your choice for who you want to go for. I'm going to load up the timing app. Someone's gone Fury. Well, there we go then.
Yeah, Fury looked quick in practice with the fuel thing as well. I find, say, with me driving the Audi, even with the Lamborghini, I used to stick at least 50 litres of fuel in it.
Well, the Lamborghini gets twitchy, doesn't it, on lower fuel? So
yeah, about 20 litres, it gets really twitchy, and he will getting close to track limits, but I don't think he ran it wide at this corner for a good exit coming into the last two corners now.
That's peaceful. Yep, getting out of the way. You might want to move because Kelly's coming as well, and Andy then to the line. The names haven't loaded on this app yet, but whoever's sat in 6th place at the minute is Purple. 6th place on my screen is Dan, so I don't know if that's registering on here. Gary has got in. Andy's done a 22.8 banker lap. And I can tell you now, the names have loaded. It is Dan on a purple sector. Disco goes second, Little Eats third. Fury's pipped Andy at the minute. Where's Dan? Here he is now to the line. 22.6.
Not much more. Not much.
Let's hope he's got time to find in that then.
Yeah. It'd be Monkey Boy coming to the line next. Is he... Ooh, cuts a little bit of the corner there, so you'll have to be careful of that. He comes to the line. Where's that going to put him? Puts him 7th. Only a couple of tenths off X-Mart, so... Yeah,
not too bad. Not too bad for him at the moment. Argent, Kelly, Sooty, Peaceful, Little Each, not done a lap time yet. And Gary's got himself back in the session. He's just got to load into the game, which he'll be doing at the minute.
Yeah, Little Leach ran a little bit wide on the second to last corner. He runs a little bit wide there, runs onto the AstroTurf.
Dan, as Gary's got himself in now, Dan Purple sector 1. Gary Little Each comes across the line at 24.5, so more time to find from him. Evening to Fury's mum. Here comes Argent to the line. He sets the lap and only goes P9. Bad lap from Argent there then. Who's the next one to the line? Is it Kelly? Might be Sooty or Peaceful. It's Sooty to the line. Sooty goes 6th. Then it'll be Kelly. And then it'll be the Disco, I think, because I think Andy returned to the pits. Yeah, that's Disco. And then Fury. Sooty, Purple last sector, can I just say, in that one as well. So KLF to the line. Disco's just gone pole.
Fury comes across the line, goes no quicker.
Yeah, no improvement. Dan's just gone pole. Purple sector 1 and sector 2. But Sooty, the quickest through the final sector at the minute. No, he can't be because Dan's just beaten that, as did Disco. But what's interesting to note there is Dan was actually 3 tenths slower than Disco in that final sector, that lap. So who's the next man to get to the line? They've just gone through sector 2 at the corkscrew. That'll be Little Each. So Little Each will be your next man, followed by Argent at the minute. Gary, still in the pits, has 5 minutes just under to get out for a lap. Have you seen the odds on the pole? That is quite incredible at the minute.
I'll have a look at it now. Oh, Little Each has lost it coming for this. Oh.
Dan's back in the pits. Here comes Argent then. Andy, 0%. Dan, 40. Fury, 60. Gary, 0% as well. So no votes for Andy for a pole position. And as it stands at the minute, those who's voted Dan are going to win. Are going to win the vote at least. Argent to the line. Any improvement? 9.6 seconds puts him up to 10th. Who's next to the line? Not quite sure. Kelly's just behind Disco. Sooty, right. Sooty, no improvement. Who's that behind Sooty? That sounds like a Porsche. Sounded like Little Each. No, it was a Ferrari of Monkey Boy. He's 8th. So back to Disco then.
Disco comes across the line. He goes
fastest.
He goes on to pole.
Wow, where's Fury? Has he improved any? He was at the line as well. No improvement for him. Can't tell who's behind Fury. Here comes Andy then. Purple sector 1 from Andy. Green through sector 2. And Andy to the line now. Is he going to improve any on his time here? He goes quickest now, a 21.6. And Dan now needs to find some half a second.
And Andy has well and truly just dropped the microphone and gone back to the pits.
Mic drop. No one has yet voted Andy. Everybody's gone Dan and Fury at the minute. Here is Dan. Where's Gary 131? Just out of interest a minute.
Gary has now started his lap. So we'll stay on board. We'll stay on board with Gary. Go for a lap.
Yes, we will. Where is Dan's sector times? No personal best there for himself.
I think that might have just been him coming out of the pit.
Right.
This might be his.
Yeah. That would make sense.
This corner coming up here, it's really easy to lose it. Just put away.
Do that. Just to do that. Yeah. Literally just to do that.
Gary, 7 seconds up, so that would put him, I think, in between Argent and Monkey Boy.
You say that, but Monkey Boy's just gone up to P7, so to put it between Argent and Peaceful at this moment in time. Biggs is coming to the line. He's on a personal best lap, so we'll keep an eye on Biggs' name on the timing screen. Crosses the line any time now.
Doesn't go any quicker, I don't think.
No, he doesn't. Loses it in the final sector. Gary then, still green and green at the moment.
He's very tight through that corner.
Yeah, interesting line. Very interesting line.
Very interesting line. I'd say during practice I've been going quite wide. Oh, he's missed the apex quite massively there. Coming to the final corner. This is definitely going to be an improvement for Gary. Where's this going to put him?
Where is it going to put him then as he comes to the line? He will get time for one, maybe even two more laps. Gary to the line, 6.99 seconds quicker. Puts him exactly where you said, between what would have been Argent and Monkey Boy, but it's now Argent and Peaceful. Gary's got work to do. Let's go to Dan. Currently a purple sector 1. No improvement sector 2, though. He's coming out the corkscrew down to the penultimate corner. Through the right-hander. Needs as good a run through this part as possible. Now get a good exit. He was on the gravel a little bit there on the outside. As quick as you can through the final. On the power as early as possible. To the line he goes now. Was purple sector 1. What's he going to do when he gets to the line? It's good enough for second. He's got to find some 2/10 though.
Disco comes into the pits. Fury is on a X-Mart in the pits.
I was about to say let's jump to Andy. He set a purple middle sector, but his first sector was 1 minute 53. So I think we'll leave that one.
Yeah, David's now coming to the line. He goes above X-Mart.
Puts himself up into P4, Monkey Boy. Gary, he's on another personal best lap. Through sector 2, down the corkscrew he comes now. You could just hear him having to get on that power, but the car didn't want to do it as it dropped down through the corkscrew. Now to the left-hander, out to the right, back across to the left, in for the right-hander. Get a good run through here as he again missed that apex, but manages to not run as far wide as normal. To the line he comes now. That's Fury behind him, so we'll jump to Fury in a moment. But Fury not on a better lap. Gary, though, to the line. Any improvement on a P10? Yes, goes all the way up to 6th, so stellar lap.
Fury goes no quicker. Whereabouts is Andy?
Dan, purple sector 1, green sector 2. Sorry, Jamie.
He's got Argent right in front of him as well, so he's getting a good slipstream. He just needs to hope Argent doesn't block him in this final corner.
To the line they come. Andy, Dan, Fury all on 30% of the vote. Gary gets 10%. Get in the slipstream of the Mercedes-Benz. Here comes the McLaren. Is Dan going to nick pole with 15 seconds to go? No! 2/10 slower.
I think the dirty air from the Mercedes has just cost him at that last opportunity. Here comes
Andy's up on his time as well. He went purple sector 1 and 2 as well. So Andy flying at the moment, Jamie. He will be not the first man to finish qualifying, but wow, this could really do Andy the world of good with pole. Here's Kelly to the line. Better sector 1, no improvement middle sector. What can Kelly do? Stays P12. What about Andy?
No improvement.
No improvement.
Dan spun it, so he's...
Yep, that's pole position for Dan done then. Biggs and Peaceful are out there on a lap. Gary just coming out. Has he tweaked something for the race? But
Fury.
Wow.
Yeah, Fury, the next one to the line. I think it's Peaceful afterwards. Can Fury put it in?
He's not on a better lap here, so unless he had a better final sector, nothing from him. It's Peaceful in front of D Biggs.
Peaceful's had a very good qualifying, sixth place. He comes into the pits.
Peaceful actually averages P7 in Q1, so it's not like he qualifies that bad, really. D Biggs has pitted as well, so I think it is just Gary out there. But Andy, Another pole position. Disco, great qualifying from him as well.
Yeah, if he gets a jump on unorthodox, that could be really problematic for Dan.
Yeah, really could so. It really could. Gary up to 7th towards the end of that one. That's Dan bailing into the pits. Little Leach, 13th place, I've just noticed.
Yeah.
Struggling.
Yeah, I was watching him in practice, and he just doesn't look happy with the car. So, got the qualifying result.
Yeah, run us through it, Jamie.
So, pole position, championship leader Andy. Second place in the McLaren is Unorthodox. Third place on the grid is the second BMW of Disco McDisco Face. Fury fourth in the first of the Mercedes, and the second Shake and Bake McLaren in fifth. The first of the Ferraris of Peaceful Explosion in sixth. Gary in his Porsche in seventh. X Martin eighth. Monkey Boy in ninth. Sutty Apex in 10th. Argent in 11th. Not a very good qualifying for Argent. And KLF 912. Hopefully he can be very consistent like he was last week and make up a few positions. And Little Leach at the back of the grid, really struggling.
Now I am waiting for this to pop up with the continue button. So guys, apologies. You're just going to have to be patient a minute because I am waiting for it to pop up with that button. But yep, Kieran's just put in the chat. You said about Kieran. Kieran's just actually put in the chat. I'm struggling this week. Thought I was quick. 2 seconds off the pace. So clearly struggling with a car.
Yeah, so it's not a very easy track to get a hold of. If you make a mistake, it can hurt you really badly.
It really can. He's got to make sure that Argent gets this done now. Again, apologies. We are just waiting for it. You guys can see it on the screen that the continue button hasn't yet popped up. We are just waiting for that to come on, and when that pops up, we'll be able to get away.
Yeah, I don't have it at the minute. Dan was quicker in Sector 1 than Andy. He was about a tenth slower in Sector 2, and he was a tenth. And he was
2 tenths.
2 tenths in Sector 3.
Dan's actually slower than Fury Disco and Andy in Sector 3. But you look at his Sector 2 time, his Sector 1 is a lot better. In fact, his Sector 1 is the quickest of the session. Kelly has been booted from the session, it says. Yeah, I think we might have to do a rolling start here. Right, we're going to take a very quick break and we'll be back in a moment with a rolling start. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with a rolling start to get this one underway. Stay tuned for more.
Getting hyped when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up in the place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate. All in when I show up, whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition, I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate.
Broken dreams in my pocket. Golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street like right there, I'm so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine, just so that I could show you. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. Golden. Yeah. Lay on the carpet, eye to eye, glistening. No, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street like I be. I'm so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine, just so that I could show you. You're golden. You're
gentlemen. Apologies for the delay. We're going to do 21 laps of this race. The pit window will still be lap 4 to lap 15. And we're going to have to do the first lap of this race as a rolling start. So the qualifying order will be as follows. Andy will be on pole position, followed by Dan. Disco will be P3. P4 will be Fury. P5 will be D Biggs. P6 will be Peaceful Explosion. 7th will be Gary 131. 8th will be Xmart. 9th goes the way of Monkey Boy. 10th for Sooty Apex. 11th for Argent. KLF will be 12th, and Little Each will line up at the back of the pack. We love the glitches here. Laguna brings you so many glitches. But one thing, Jamie, to note with this one, Andy is now 16 points clear in the championship because of his pole position.
There he is. So I think I'll say every time Andy gets pole position, every little helps.
Yeah. And just a little stat for you out there as well, that the BMW has 27 pole positions in the Pro. It is now 2 better off than the Porsche. It's well better off. It's actually the best qualifier now in the Pro Series is the BMW M6, followed by the Porsche, the Lamborghini, and then the Mercedes. It's now on 29 total, so it's only 6 pole positions behind the Porsche and the Lamborghini itself, who are actually tied on pole positions. Can it be converted into a 15th race win? That is the big question. The BMW M6 has 2 poles because of Dean this season in the M6. It's got no race wins, though. So it's only on 14 race wins. It's 9 behind the McLaren. And I'm sure Andy and Disco are going to want to put as many points on the board as possible. We are underway for this one, though. And we are about to get going with the formation lap, Jamie. But the stat that counts is that 16-point championship gap at the minute, Andy to Dan. Dan has got to make sure he gets his head down in this race and finishes ahead of Andy.
Yeah, so he does. He's got to make sure, really, he's in front of Andy at turn 1. If not, Andy's just going to go, right, see you later.
Oh! I've just thought of another scenario. If people are on the hard tyre, they are going to cool dramatically.
Ooh. Yeah, I think that's why Andy's tried to bolt very quickly.
That has put a spanner in the works. So now then, chat, the tyre preparation here has got to be brilliant, because these hards are just going to drop off a cliff. The thing is Andy needs to keep the pack bunched up. He doesn't want to be going too soon. The pack has got to be bunched. He's already got formed between Biggs and Fury.
I tell you what, D-Biggs could play the ultimate game here by having a gap between him and Fury would make Andy slow right the way down, like he is doing. What on earth is Andy doing? He's on the gravel there.
The thing is that if Biggs is on the softs and that is the tactic, that could be a good shout. The other problem I'd say would be is that Biggs needs to be on the back of Andy and Disco, because constructors-wise, with Disco on double points, Biggs needs to score well here, so it could work. It could be a win-lose situation as they're all coming through. When does Andy then decide to go? You can't stop and start. When Andy goes, he goes.
I think, if it was me, I would probably go in the middle of the final corner. As Dan's on, as soon as the car is 90 degrees.
I think he's gone, Jamie. I think that was the signal. I think he's gone. Is it green lights and we're underway? It is. So it's go then here at Laguna Seca. And Andy could start. Dan, though, right with him on the back of him. Fury, Disco already side by side as they head down towards turn 1. Andy a bit of a twitch through the left-hand kink. Here comes Disco and Fury. Dan to the outside. Fury will be on the outside of Disco. And look at the guys on the hard tyre. Dan, sideways, keeps it, holds it. Is that because Dan's tyre preparation wasn't up to scratch? But that then has dropped him 2 places. Oh, Andy's under wiggle. Andy, off, wiggle.
But Dan, he's
lost out. Dan's got in front. D Biggs has tapped the side. They both keep going. And D Biggs and Andy are now side by side. And just after Dan makes a mistake, Andy copies.
I think Little Each, Kelly and Argent have made a mistake as well.
Yeah, they're well off the pack.
D Biggs is going to give Andy the workover of his life.
He absolutely is. Biggs runs a little wide, though, and Andy gets the job done. Here comes Gary, though, storming up towards the corkscrew. Gary past Biggs. Is he looking at Andy as well? Surely not. Andy's had a wiggle. The tap on the back of Gary points him straight, but that's costing Biggs another place, and Andy's tumbling down the order.
Yeah, and he's lost another position.
No, he's lost to Gary. It's Biggs who's lost another one to Xmart.
Yeah. I tell you what though, look Dan's struggling as well.
Yeah.
He's not Fury and Disco are gone.
The tyre preparation from Andy and Dan then maybe wasn't as good as Disco and Fury. We saw Fury at one stage absolutely weaving like mad to get them tyres up to... Disco's round on double points. Could Dan be second place? Disco rejoins just ahead of Dan.
Andy
Well...
looks like he's got... Look, Andy... Ooh, he's had another wiggle. Oh, that's peaceful.
That's peaceful off. Yeah, where's Biggs? Biggs has dropped to P11, so what's happened to him as well?
Look at Kelly, he's up to 9. So
Yeah.
Kelly's going great guns again. So, oh, there's a spin there.
It's Xmart, he's got to stay still. He can't reverse yet. Can he get it going forward? Andy's slow. Has Andy tapped Xmart? Because Andy is slow here. He's let Sooty through. Does he think that's Xmart, I wonder? He's tapped one. Has there been a carbon tap round there? I'm not so sure.
I don't think Xmart was close to Andy, so I wonder whether Andy's had a little bit of a wiggle and Xmart's tried to avoid.
Possibly so. Xmart's dropped to 13th as a result of this, but Dan's now third. Andy, he's down in 6th. He's tumbling. Look at Sooty from by the back of the pack.
Yeah, Sutty got his tyres working really well. But I think Fury. We know the Mercedes works its tyres very hard, and that is probably the best thing.
The most beneficial thing to get them hards back up to temperature as quick as possible. It chews the tyres. Yeah, I'm baffled at the fact that Kieran's not come through the pack a bit more than what he has. Disco though was so wiggly through that final corner. Has he had another mistake? Has Disco just had another mistake? I didn't see him come through turn 1. I don't think so. No, he hasn't. But Monkey Boy had though. He span at the last corner.
I think I thought he'd lost the rear wing, but no, he hasn't. Andy is all over the back. Is over the back of Sutty. Look, Kelly's up to 7th.
He is up to 7th. He's got past Peaceful. Andy's got past D Big. So is Kelly on the softer tyre then? Is he pulling the strategy same as last week? Because he's flying at the minute. Yeah, Kelly, look at his lap times compared to everybody bar Arjun.
Yeah, he was quicker than Andy last lap. He's trying to defend from D Biggs. Yeah,
Biggs was jinking left, right, all over the back of KLF and couldn't get the job done. Tries to tuck underneath now. Can he get it on Kelly? We saw Peaceful in the background, had a bit of a wiggle. Argent coming to catch him, but no cigar there for D Biggs. But Kelly ran a little deep and he's going to try and defend this one hard from Biggs. Biggs, though, gets that nose alongside. Oh, we just cut away. What's happened? Biggs. Yeah, he's got it from.
I thought Gary had made a mistake. I saw him stopped at the corkscrew.
Kelly's
looking around the outside. Yeah, he's looking around the outside, but he has to save that position, and Peaceful's going to be the person.
He's looking. He's having a look into Kelly here. I thought he was going to pull off the Sooty send it of his teammate and try and launch one up the inside of D Biggs, but he didn't get the job done there. Can he now though get that slipstream? Oh, that's going to hurt him. He went in the gravel there. That's going to compromise his run.
Yeah, Peaceful soon be on the back of him, but I reckon he'll defend very well from Peaceful.
Well, this is the 4th racing lap now. The pit window opened at the end of the last lap. We're going to keep that the same. This is the 4th racing lap.
Oh, poor Monkey
These boys might have their hard tyres up to temperature now, Jamie.
I imagine they will. I think Dan has got his tyres up to temperature, but look, Disco in the 22.
Yeah, flying at the minute. Flying at the minute is Disco McDisco Face, and Monkey Boy is the first man in at the end of lap 4.
Yeah, he looked like he was about half a lap down. Did he not losing a massive amount of time to...
No.
Oh, Fury. Disco's got past Fury.
All right, how has that happened then? Let's check the lap times to see if it was just a normal overtake or if Fury's had a mistake somewhere. Dan's not really near this battle, but doesn't need to be as Andy's 6th. Dan is up into 3rd place. So as it stands at the minute, Dan will close that gap. And Fury here, he's looking for another race win. Oh, a bit squirrely out the final corner there. Disco leads this race to the end of lap 5 then. Fury to the line. What's the lap time? Possible mistake, Jamie. Maybe a slide mid-corner.
I wonder whether he's just had a bit of a wiggle at that left-hander, got on the gravel, and Disco just got through.
Sooty Apex running P5. Great shout out to him, but he has got Andy coming at him. 2 tenths quicker, Andy, than Sooty on the last lap. Gary a bit quicker than these two as well. Not as quick as the front three. Obviously, Fury made a mistake last time around.
Disco again in the 22s. And all Dan in the 23.6s.
Yeah. Disco looking rapid, isn't he, tonight?
Yeah, he looks like he's got his tyre. I wonder what tyres he's on, whether he's on the softs or the hards.
Well, it'll be interesting to see and ask at the end if that's the case. Sutty a little wide on exit there. Kelly, is he still within a couple of tenths of D Biggs? He is, still within still within 7 tenths. Has got Peaceful coming, but you know what, Kelly, this another good solid race from 8th place at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, Disco's winning at the minute, so Disco would probably. Oh, that's
Peaceful.
Yeah, he's round, so Arjun gets through. Is X Mark going to get through as well? Yeah, he is. So Peaceful goes down to 11th place because Monkey Boy's back into the pits. He looks like he's got damage.
No.
He's got damage on the front.
That also looks a bit AI-ish to me.
Yeah, that looks very AI.
Has Monkey Boy put the AI in? I wonder. He's just gone a lap down now.
Yeah, he's gone a lap down. Let's see Dan's lap time.
Disco.
24.
Disco again in the 22s. 24.4 for Dan. Where's Gary? He's just crossed the line. 25.4. Oh dear. I'd have been at the front in this race looking at these times. 26, 25. The times aren't great from these boys, are they, compared to the front two? I tell you what, they're struggling. Fury all over the curb. Disco just starting to stretch his legs a little bit with Monkey Boy then 13th place. That's not the night he'd have wanted. He looks like he's on his way now. I wonder if he did put the AI in. That'd be an interesting to find that one out. Peaceful's dropped to 11th.
Kelly he's lost a few tenths.
Yeah. He's lost a couple of tenths, but he's still there. He's still fighting.
He was around the same pace as Argent and X-Mark last lap.
Yeah, the interesting thing to see here is if Kelly is on the softs, all them tyres just going to die on him and he fits for new ones later in this race. That's going to be the biggest question here. Disco extending his gap to nearly a second. There's then 4 seconds back to Dan in 3rd place, but Dan is some 11 seconds clear of Andy at the minute. Kelly very wide. Is that a sign of the soft tyres dying? Argent as well is as wide as Kelly. I think Argent's gone round, has he? No, he's kept it going. No,
he's kept it going. But X-Mart is now within just under two seconds behind. No, is that that? Say Andy's on the back of Sutty, but he doesn't look massively quick.
No, the pace. What is it? 7 tenths last lap. What will it be this lap? It doesn't look like it's got any closer. Andy doesn't look like he's got closer to Sutty. Will he get him on the slipstream? You look at Andy's last lap, a 10th in it. So a 10th's not really going to... That's very twitchy from Andy there, just through the little left-hand kink. Sutty... He is having a look. Has he had a bit of a wiggle? He has had a wiggle. And Sutty might be able to hold that position. I thought there that Sutty was going to close the door on him, but he didn't. And that then, at the end of lap 7, Peace was in the pits. That then... Gary's round! Oh, he's dropped it again!
That gives another place to Andy. So, also he runs a little wide, and that just opens the door for Andy. So,
so he'll be able to defend this, though. He'll be able to keep it up the inside. Andy, no, he's a send it. He's gave him the room. He's gave him the respect that Sutty requires on these send it manoeuvres. And look at that, because Andy went so wide on the exit, giving Sutty the room, he's actually not gained anything. Tries to get a cutback. Oh, both have a little wiggle there. I think Sutty's was a bit bigger than Andy's, and Andy's going to now have a look at the corkscrew. Sutty can't come across to defend that one. Here comes Andy at the corkscrew. They're both twitchy under the brakes, side by side, as clean as you like, and Andy's got that job done.
Yeah, so bad news for North Dubs.
Yeah, in the space of a lap, Andy's gained 2 places.
Yeah, he's up to 4th. Gary's gone behind D Biggs.
Yeah,
he's got Kelly 2 seconds behind him.
Yeah, he's got Kelly breathing down his neck here.
Yeah, Sutty comes into the pit, so he gets out of the dirty air of the BMW and releases D-Biggs up into
I think that's a good shout for Sutty there. He knows he's just lost out to Andy. Andy's now got to pump in some good lap times to get Sutty in the to maybe jump Sutty in the pit. So I think that's a good shout there from Sutty. This gap's got a lot closer recently. Fury a couple of tenths quicker. Dan now matching the pace of the leaders. Andy a 26.4 last lap. Not a great lap from him yet again. But this gap started to come down a bit here as Sutty's out the pits. And where is he? He's on the back. Is that Peaceful just on the back of Sutty? I'm not too sure. No, it's not. So that's a lapped car of Monkey Ball. Oh, poor Monkey. Poor Monkey.
I think he's just kept out.
Yeah, I think he's avoided that. Back to the front then. Dan's just lapped someone.
I think Disco's on the soft tyres.
Do you reckon? They're going? He's in. Disco's in.
He's on the soft tyres because he was very quick at the start of the race, but all of a sudden he's just about now he's dipped into the 23, so he looked like he was struggling compared to Fury.
Is this going to be then a tyre change for Disco McDisco Face? Fury 23.2. Dan crosses the line 23.9. So Dan in the 23 is a bit more consistent. Disco in the pits. Here comes then Andy. Let's see this stop. Now, that's a good stop. That's not a change of tyre stop for Disco. So just a routine pit stop for him. Halfway stage of this race nearly. And Disco on his way. But look how far he is ahead of Andy. Andy hasn't even got the jump on him. Kelly's in as well at lap 9.
Yep, Kelly in. Is he... Oh, he's missed his pit box.
Oh, he's missed his pit box. Oh, what a shame.
It's like he comes... Is he going to get...
Oh, it was a good stop as well because he's gone.
Yeah, he's got... Is he going to get out ahead of Peaceful? I imagine Peaceful's 9 seconds. Peaceful's now come to the final corner. Kelly...
This will be tight because the pit entry, as you said, Jamie, earlier, the pit exit is very tight here. Peaceful will be up to speed on a wider turn 1 than Kelly's got pit exit. Here comes Kelly then. Don't cross them white lines. On the brakes, nicely done, it's nice and steady. And I think Kelly's going to have that one done on the exit. Yep, out he comes. Where's Peaceful Explosion? There he is. And Peaceful was about a second behind him before he had a spin earlier, Peaceful. So he's only lost 2 seconds. Fury's in.
Fury's it. Dan continues on. He was slower than Fury last lap by a good 7/10. So he's not... So Fury, with the Mercedes Worknex tyre, it's a bit harder, is definitely playing to his advantage right now. Yeah,
I reckon so as well. I reckon that's the best thing Fury's got here is the chance of that Mercedes using its tyres. D Biggs came into the pits here, that looked like to me.
It does X-Mark
as
yeah. Well.
They're all coming in now then.
Yeah, so I think X-Mark's trying to get out of the dirty area of Argent, so
Argent up to 6th, not yet pitted.
Disco's got back ahead of Fury.
He has, and Andy has Andy pitted?
Look. No, Andy is.
No, he's not.
Look at the gap. Disco's got. He's got a 4-second gap.
Disco's pulled an absolute blinder there. Then with his pit stop, absolutely fantastic. He's gained 4 seconds to Fury. Fury's got Andy on the back of him. Andy yet to pit, as is Gary. But what a job from Disco McDisco Face. Kelly gets past X-Mark back into P9.
So on the back of D Biggs and Andy. Oh, Andy goes a little bit wide.
Yeah, doesn't want to spin there. But that absolutely great stop from the Slingshot Motorsport boys, and Fury losing out massively there.
Oh, look how twitchy that BMW is.
Looks completely different to Disco's, doesn't it? Disco's looks nice and set up. This one looks a bit twitchy in a handful.
Dan continues on for another lap.
24s, that's slow.
That's very, very slow. Is Andy going to come in?
Yeah.
Andy comes in. Once again, he gets up in the dirty air.
So this will be interesting to see where Andy comes out ahead of by Biggs and stuff.
Argent continues on. I don't think Argent's made a pit stop yet.
No, so it is only Gary, Argent and Dan who haven't pitted yet. So Gary and Argent will pass Andy. Andy on his way out the pits now.
Yeah, Andy's on his way out. D Biggs is coming to the final corner, so that's going to be tight between them.
Sutty's with him as well. Sutty was just behind Andy. Andy had passed Sutty that lap, remember? And I think Sutty's done him.
Yeah, there goes one McLaren. There's the other McLaren.
Has Sutty just got enough done on Andy then to get this job done? Breaks into the first corner, does Andy. Sutty's got a bit longer to brake. Where is that orange McLaren? It's there. They'll both be on the power as soon as possible. This could be tight, you know. And I think Sutty may have it done up the inside into turn 3. No.
And
a wiggle. A wiggle. That's giving him the place.
Yep, that'll do nicely for Sutty.
And the bonus for Dan there then is it's 2 cars between himself and Andy again. Dan's though still got a pit.
Disco's made a mistake, look.
Yeah, he's massively dropped it. It's down to under a second, so Disco's had a problem somewhere.
I'm still convinced he's on the soft tyre.
Well, let's wait and see. A 23.9 last time round for Disco compared to Dan's 23.9 as well. Dan has continued on his merry way in this race and he's continuing to do so here then. Disco, Fury, that's little each bit of place down. Gary's 4th, not yet pitted. Argent 5th, not yet pitted. And then there's Biggs and Sutty. Gary comes in now.
28.3 last lap for Disco, so he's definitely made a mistake. Fury in the 24s, so Dan was the quickest out of them. Gary into the pits.
Yep, as is Argent.
Gary away. Where's D Biggs into the final corner.
Biggs will have him here. Sutty and Andy side by side. Andy up the inside of Sutty. Can Andy get that job done? I think he can, you know. Although now look, Sutty, better traction out the corner, but can he then get back across Andy? He's got in front of him, so he's got the chance to go and defend the line. Gary's out the pits as well. Based off what we saw this time round last time, Sutty managed to get Andy done. Andy up the inside. Sutty not covering that one off that much. Can Gary get out just ahead of these two? He'll be on the throttle now. He does so. So Andy passes Sutty, but has Gary ahead of him now. So Andy cannot get a break here. He's had a huge wiggle. Oh, he's off. He's off. Huge mistake from Andy. Big wiggle. Sutty taps the rear and finishes the job. No mistake of Andy's that. Dan in the pits. Apologies, Jamie.
Yeah, Dan in the pits as well. That was a massive mistake from Andy. He just got a bit of a wiggle. If Sutty hadn't been there, he would have just spun.
He would have probably still gone off, wouldn't he? But not had the tap round.
And gone in the wall. So look how much he struggled.
Look, has he got damage? Kelly could capitalise here. Dan's in the pits. Dan's on his way out the pits. Fury and Disco then are coming past Dan. They've passed Dan. Disco's opened that gap back up again. So Dan's dropped to third. But there's D Biggs, Gary, Sutty in between. 3 cars between himself and Andy. And there could be a fourth in a minute because Kelly is hassling the back of this BMW. Does Andy have damage?
It's really hard to tell. Oh look, he's
round! He's round! Kelly's through! Kelly's in up another place. That's gifted. X-Mart another place. Where's Peaceful? Peaceful's coming now. He avoids Andy. Andy's down to 10th. Next up is Arjun behind him. You could not write this script at the moment.
Is Andy going to come into the pits?
No.
No.
Wow.
He's hard. Oh, that's Peaceful in the wall.
Oh, what a shame.
Andy gets a position back, but if he spins one more time, he could end up in 11th place, and that could be his championship.
Jamie, you cannot write this. You cannot write this stuff.
No.
He's gone again. He's going again. He's going again. That BMW. Is that on the soft tyre? Has it burnt through its soft tyre with these couple of slides? You could not write this, Jamie.
No, you cannot write this at all. Peaceful will be licking his lip thinking, I'm going to get past the championship leader here. Look, he's going to go again. He's
drifting this car through so many corners. Kelly's up to 7th here in this race. Kelly's back end of the season. He's turning into a fantastic run. This is absolutely bizarre from the BMW driver. It looked planted in the practice and in the qualifying and in the race. It looks an absolute handful. And he's had a huge twitch there again. Andy is struggling like mad. Little H back into the pits. What a shame for him. Fury in the leader. Disco about 0.7 of a second there.
Oh, Fury had a bit of a wiggle there. I wonder whether it might have glitched out on Andy and put him on default.
Possibly so.
On a default setup.
Oh, Andy, another twitch. Peaceful up to the inside. And is that job done? Peaceful over the sausage curb. Forces Andy a little wide, but Andy's still there for the final corner. Peaceful will give him the room and the width that he needs to be given. And job done for Andy. Hold station. But I tell you what, that BMW is all over the place.
Yeah, so you'd imagine Disco and Andy are going to be using the same setup.
Yeah, you'd think so. Or at least very similar. Not many differences.
Yeah, that BMW is not on a setup at all. He doesn't look like he's got the right pressures in the tyres.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's Argent going wide as well.
Argent's had a twitch.
I think it's put him on a default setup.
Well, I don't think we're going to find out because I don't think we're going to get a chance to speak to him on the podium. Look at him. He's drifting round the corners there. Mike has an almighty run, does Peaceful here on the back of Andy. He'll be round the outside. Andy is fighting for 10th place in this race at the moment. Oh, Monkey Boy, what a shame he's not in this battle up the road. Look, because there he is just a bit further up. He's not in this one. He's got past Little Each, so that's 12th place for him. But at the minute, the Audio Sport Pro Labs boys are sitting 6th and 7th in this constructors fight with Forever Forward and Simplay Racing. They're absolutely going. Matt, when will you struggle like that too so I can catch you? Season's not over yet, bud.
I tell you what, Dan's struggling as well.
Massively.
Not as bad as Andy. He's not struggling as bad as Andy.
I think if Gary hadn't have had mistakes, Gary could have been on this podium here. His pace has been similar to Dan's. He's round, yeah. He's down to 11th. He's lost out to Argent and Peaceful now. Damage?
I don't think it's damage. I just think it's that left hand say a normal Andy setup is very planted. So we've got with Disco. Look how planted that setup is.
Oh, you can't write that. You cannot write that. At the moment you say it, round he goes. And Disco down to P3 on double points. Fury leads this race once again, and Dan up into second now. So guess what? That's another car between himself and Andy. Peaceful's lost out to Argent as well. Argent's up to 8th. Peaceful down, stays 10th. But you could not write that. Look how stable this is. Round goes Disco on the curb. Absolutely brilliant. The commentator's curse chat is real.
I'm sorry, Disco.
Yeah, you need to apologise for that one. That was terrible.
Oh, dear.
So Dan up to second, 3 seconds off the back of Fury, but Fury has the pace at the minute to stay in front. Peaceful out battling with Argent here, looking to go side by side as they come to the corkscrew. This is Peaceful Explosion's track selection this year as one of the main admins. Oh, Argy Bargy. Peaceful very patient there. I just saw Argent turned in on him a little bit there.
Look at 5 seconds behind is Andy, still struggling.
So good job, Monkey Boy's 1 minute 10 down the road, so he's not going to lose another place, really.
Yeah, and he's got, say, Little H as a lap down as well, so he's not gonna finish last.
Yeah, that's the bonus for it. I suppose the thing is if Andy keeps having moments like that, and Monkey Boy can get a move on, he'll be right on the back of Andy within no time if Andy keeps having. I think Andy's had another moment at the final corner. He's in the pits. Well, there we go then. Change of tyre.
Suspension damage, I imagine.
Well, let's have a look at the length of this pit stop. He's now a lap down to Fury, a lap down to Dan. He'll be a lap down to his teammate. The Lollipop Man lifts the lollipop, but he is not yet away. Monkey Boy then is through turns 1, 2 and 3. This is turn 4. Watch that blue dot turn white shortly.
He's it, and he's gone. I think it was. I definitely think that was just the smallest bit of suspension damage.
Potentially so. It might have been, though, a tyre change as well if it was the tyres that have gone. We'll have to wait and see. Watch that blue dot turn white. I said it just goes white now. So Monkey Boy on that lead lap and is under half a lap behind Andy now, 37 seconds. And now Andy has got Biggs coming to lap him and Gary 131.
I thought it was that. I think Fury's made a mistake.
I think you're right here because these two are both lapping in the 24s. Disco, the quickest man out there last lap in the 23s. But Dan on the back of Fury at the minute.
We said I know the start of the race was very, very twitchy, but touch wood, he seems very planted now.
Yes, because we know what your words can do. But Dan then, towards the penultimate corner, lap 18 of 22 here, to end the race. Who's that? That's Little Leach, yep.
Little H.
Little Leach then goes another lap down and rejoins now just behind Dan. And where's Fury to Dan? Let's see the lap times. Dan's lost a lot in that last sector.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, Fury's had a mistake. Yeah. Look at them times. Dan, look at that. That's not great at all.
No, that's not. I wouldn't say his tyres must have gone off or something, or the brake. He's overheated the brakes.
Not sure, but Disco's 2.3 seconds behind. Disco will be on the back of Dan before Dan's on the back of Fury. Dan needs to hope Fury has another mistake. And Disco just needs to hope Dan keeps doing them kind of lap times, because at the minute, Dan really struggling. Little each in the way. Where then is Gary and D Big? Andy's in again.
Yeah, Andy's back in the pits. I wonder whether it's not changed his tyres. If he has come in to change his tyres, has not done anything. I mean, where's Monkey Boy? Monkey Boy is coming to the corkscrew.
He could get past here. He could get past.
He's got half a lap. Kelly's on the back of X-Mark. I think the X-Mark's just had a bit of a wiggle. Got to keep an eye on where Monkey Boy is. Monkey Boy is coming to...
I tell you what, though, Little Each is at the corkscrew on the same lap.
Andy's not away.
No, Little Leach is on the same lap. Monkey Boy will gain 11th place here. Andy will be able to qualify for the next race. But Monkey Boy then moves up to 11th place, gets an extra point. Andy's just away. Little Leach not close enough yet. But I tell you what, if Andy's pit stops has to stop one more time or struggles one more time, he could have Little Leach on the back of him. 26 people watching, guys, girls, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified when we're live, and hit that thumbs up button. We'll be live again on Saturday, midday, 12 p.m. GMT. For the World Endurance Round 3 of Fuji, a night race in Japan. 6 hours of that. Dan, second, has just lapped Andy. There's Disco trying to gain on Dan. Dan's lost more time to Fury. And Disco's gained more time over Dan. Andy could do with getting right out to Disco's way, who has a big wiggle himself. Andy could do with getting out of the way here to let Disco take points away from Dan.
He could, or is Andy going to try and push it down? I think Andy needs to get out of the way here. Look,
Yeah.
he's dropping back. Yeah, look, he's on the gravel. He really needs to move out of the way. He's not. I know he's losing points all down a little bit. Yeah, look. Oh, Disco's dropped it.
Has Disco dropped it? He has. He's made a mistake. Yeah. Disco round. Has he kept it out of the wall? I believe so. Can't quite see him. That's Little Leach. Gary's a bit further back.
There he is.
He's coming back on now.
Oh,
he's lost a lot of time, so Andy doesn't have to move now.
Andy. Yeah, Andy looks like he's fine now. X-Mart's still on the back of Kelly.
Really hassling the back of Kelly, and Kelly doing a solid job once again of keeping X-Mart at bay, and good points on offer for Kelly here once again.
I was going to say, we talked at the start of the night how consistent Andy was, and now look at him, he's down in 12th.
Yeah, exactly. Just these last 3 races, you know. Last 2 races, Rupuna in here, not gone right for him.
Yeah, the pressure's just got to him. I think Fury's made a mistake that lap as well, look.
25-2, yeah, he's had a wiggle somewhere, hasn't he?
Yeah, these guys seem very twitchy. Say in practice when...
Jamie, it was the same last night. Race 1 was a lot twitchier than race 2.
Yeah.
A lot twitchier.
Is Dan going to let Andy go here?
I think so. He's giving him the flash to carry on.
Or if these two make contact, there will be perhaps handbags.
Andy's just not got the confidence through the corners to get back past Dan. Look, is this Andy letting Dan back through? Is Dan trying to let Andy through? Oh, big snap! Big snap! Andy in a wall! Little Leach is going to get past him for 12th.
Here comes Little Leach. There he is.
Well, you cannot ride this.
Little Leach gets past for 30.
I said a corner before, Jamie. Andy doesn't look like he's got the confidence in the car through the corners. The next corner, huge twitch, bang into the wall. Wow!
Is Andy going to come back into the pits now and just trot?
He's just got to get to lap 22. He's just got to finish this race. The leaders are on lap 21, so they're going to have 1 lap to go. Andy's just got 2 laps to do here. X-Mart can't find a way past Kelly here. Kelly doing a stellar job at the minute.
I tell you what, Kelly, this is one to put on the mantelpiece. You were quicker than your son last lap. Oh, he's run wide though.
He's very wide, a bit squirrely as he rejoins. Comes straight across the old Kelly chop, across the front of X-Mart there, and into the corkscrew they go now. And can't get it done. He's had a wiggle mid-corkscrew there as well.
Kelly is I'll tell you what, Kelly is a very good defender. He's a very robust defender, but he knows when to stick
it's aggressive, it's on the edge, but it works.
Ooh, X-Mart just giving him a tap up the rear.
Lovely little tap up the rear. X-Mart slows down, stays behind Kelly. I think a flash there to apologise, and on their way they go. They start the last lap of this race. Where then is Fury on this track? He's just come through the corkscrew. I tell you what, Fury... What a shame his season's not gone according to plan, because this will be back-to-back wins, the London buses for Fury. Fury's last 6 races after tonight will be second, first, second, first. Fury then is going to come to the line, and on lap 22, Fury's going to win the opening race of the night. What a job he does. Peaceful slows down there, I think, to let him finish. Dan then on the podium once again, 4th podium in a row for Dan. That's a 2nd place there. Disco on the podium. In a 3rd place, we've been asked to speak to Disco as well. These boys all starting to struggle. D Biggs then in a fight with Gary, is he? Nope, that one's over. Okay. 2 corners to go, though. He's got to make sure he gets them done, because Gary's close enough. 1 mistake and he'll be through. And again, we speak of Gary, and just a few mistakes crept into Gary's race and cost him a podium possibly in this one. Here comes D Biggs then to the line. That's going to be 4th place for him. Good haul of points there for the team as well. Gary comes across for P5. Sutty Apex, another set of solid points here for Sutty. It looks like it's going to be 6th. He's got 5 seconds to X-Mart, who I think's got past Kelly. Kelly's off. Has X-Mart made contact? Now then, difficult decision, because Kelly, I think X-Mart was slowing for Kelly, and he was, and they've both lost out to Argent.
Oh, so X-Mart would have been better setting off behind, because Kelly's going to look to try and get Argent towards the line.
Argent's going to cross the line for 7th place. Very opportunistic at the end. Kelly drops to 8th. Xmart will come away for a 9th place. Monkey Boy is Peaceful, is 10th. I think he's already finished. So he'll get a 10th place. Monkey Boy's going to come across, and you have to say, quite fortunate to get that 11th place. Little Leach has already finished 12th, and Andy down in 13th place. Fastest lap of the race, though, Jamie, goes the way of
Disco, I think, at 22.9.
When it decides it wants to load, it's loaded now.
Yep.
Yeah, Disco at 22.9.
Yep.
Can you save the replay? Because I have no room.
I have no room either.
Brilliant. Right, okay. So anybody in the chat, please save the replay. And what a job here. Sorry, Biggs, I slowed to give you the place back. Sorry, Andy, was trying to let you go. I saw you slowed, thanks, says D. Biggs. Yeah, I don't think many people there needed to slow down. It was a lot. It was just other drivers losing it more than anything. If a driver is listening, though, can you save the replay for me, please? So that we can get that one done. But we're going to be right back. The top 7 cannot qualify for this race. So that will be Argent, Sutty, Gary, Biggs, Disco, Unorthodox and Fury cannot qualify. If anybody can save that replay for me, that'd be great. But we'll be right back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead. Far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead. Far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead. Far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead.
been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, far from the end. So I'm full speed ahead.
Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to Simplay Motorsport for round 20 of the season. There's 5 races left to go, and the championship is taking a very interesting turn as Dan leads the way by 1 point. Obviously, before the second race and drop scores are counted, Dan leads by 1 point from Andy. 54 behind is Fury. Is he making a late charge to come back into this one? Gary, 126 behind. BT Targa now out the running. He's still in 5th. Xmart stayed in 6th with D-Big 7th. Sutty stays 8th. Argent 9th. And Argent gaining that 7th place at the end means that he has just nicked it away. Top 7, by the way, remember, cannot qualify for this race. Emo Guy's 10th. Disco moves up to 11th place with that one, only a couple of points behind Emo Guy as well with that impressive 3rd place. He goes above Peaceful and KLF. Monkey Boy 2 points behind Kelly now. Lidl each up on to 89 points. Maze Gamer, though, bottom of the table. Constructors-wise, 47 points is the gap now. No longer 55 or 50. Can't remember what it was. But Shake and Bake lead the way from Sandbags Motorsport. From Slingshot Motorsport. Sandbags Motorsport, a 3rd there, 97 behind Team Prolapse. Won't be able to catch them as much tonight now. There's no double points for BT Targa. Leech Motorsport still mathematically in the running, but they're slowly dropping out of it. Audio Sport Prolapse pulling away from Forever Forward Racing and Simplay Racing. 3 points from getting off the bottom of the table. We've got the top 3 in for an interview, and we're going to start with the BMW driver of Disco McDisco Face on his double points tonight and a podium the way to kick off the things. But you had that pace for the race win.
Yep, I really did, and binned it myself. Nobody to blame but me.
What happened when you binned it?
Just caught the curb on the outside of turn 2, turn 3, and just went round. It was so smooth as well the whole of the race. Most of it anyway, and yeah, small mistake. Big talking point. Tyres, what you running? Hard.
Hard, fair play. So the question I was going to ask before we came back on air is, that warm-up lap, how hard did you have to work to keep the temperature in the tyres?
It wasn't too bad. Yeah, not too bad, to be honest. I just sort of kept up a steady pace, and then we just hammered it on the first lap to build the temperature again, and was a bit more aggressive on the brakes to get the fronts going, and then it was okay.
Double points tonight sees you move up the championship standings as well as hopefully close that gap in the constructors. What can you do race 2?
Starting from the back, around here, who knows? Just play it slow and steady and see where I can go. I really need to make advantage of these points, so yeah. See what happens. No predictions.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, buddy. Good luck for it. We've got Dan in the chat as well. And Dan, I suppose you could say a good second place in the end after Disco's mistake. You capitalised, took second. A nervy moment towards the end of the race, where he was catching you before Andy sort of got in the way of you both.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what actually happened towards the end. I think me and Andy had a little bit of a miscommunication. No, nonetheless, done exactly what I needed to do. Go out and outscore Andy. Second place is what I needed. I couldn't quite get Fury in. I was catching him ever so slightly, but the Mercedes works well in hot conditions, especially with the hard tyres. So I was hoping for his tyres to drop at the end, but I was creeping on him. But the McLaren's just not happy here. It just doesn't seem to be enjoying it. Just
before I go on to your second question, Jamie, just change to Gary for me, please. Because he says he's out on track. Gary can't qualify for this one. So I hope Gary doesn't finish a lap time here. That could cause a penalty. Like you say, though, McLaren started to die at the end there, Dan. How was it, though, at the beginning? Struggled to get the tyres up to temperature, or was it pretty fine at the word go from the rolling start?
Well, once we got rolling, it was fine, because obviously you're building up tyre temp. And then as soon as Andy dropped the pace, obviously the tyres cooled down, which obviously Andy, being the lead car, is up to him what he wants to do. But I kind of trying to psych him, and he ended up going quite early, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll go with him then.
Yep.
So I already had the temperature, and he just seemed to struggle a little bit more than I did. I did allow Fury and Disco through, but I just didn't need to chase him down. I didn't need to hunt them down. For me, the hards were the better tyre for me, but for Biggs, he was on the softs, and he was loving life, to be honest. He didn't lose tyre temp, but his first couple of laps were lightning.
Yeah, like you say, lightning and on the soft tyre. What can you do race 2 then, Dan? Disco obviously double points to try and close that gap in the constructors. You obviously now lead the championship before the drop scores get calculated at the end. What do you have to do race 2 here to keep that momentum, if you will? Obviously, tough ask with Andy, who looks like he's going to start on pole.
I just got to hope he has tyre issues again. It looked like he did. I just got to put him under pressure, even though he's going to outscore
Whoa,
me.
sorry, Dan. Peaceful's just gone pole by nearly a tenth of a second, so Andy might not be having it his own way out there. Sorry, Dan. Sorry, apologies.
That's what I need. I need Peaceful to get his act together. Just stay out of trouble, work with Biggs to get to the front, and hope that Andy has a traumatic race again. But the drop score will probably bite me in the arse again, so We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, we'll let you get back to it, buddy. Best of luck.
Yeah, cheers. Congratulations, Fury.
And we got Fury in the chat as well, and I tell you what, he's just overtaken Jamie Brazier. He's now got the second most amount of wins here at Simplay Motorsport. Fury, 23 wins to your name, your 4th race win this season. It's funny, Jamie, how we stood there before we came on air and went, in the practice session and spoke about Dan's got 7 wins. No one is close to that. The closest person is Fury and Andy on 3. Fury's just gone and added that to close the gap. Fury, how was that one?
It feels pretty amazing to obviously come from Season 1 to not having the best, going from controller, and then Season 2 learning the wheel, and then being able to just improve, to be able to fight with the top lads properly and give them a run for their money.
Give them a run for your money, like you say. Moving up the records table on wins as well. Obviously, record that you don't want to lose, that is only 4 races from being lost, or 3 races from being lost. By Nakora. I just want to put that one in there. But you've got to be absolutely over the moon with that race, because Disco had pace in this early race, and you was matching him at times. That little mistake cost him.
Yeah, I was just kind of trying to keep with him as best as I possibly could, but the Merc didn't have the power out the corners compared to the BMW, but into the corners he was just sliding, and like...
Andy has just put it on pole. Sorry, Joe. Andy's gone 1.2 seconds quicker and has put it on pole. He's finally put the lap in. Here comes Mike. No improvement. Sorry, Fury. Carry on.
No worries. But yeah, being able to just, well, keep close in the standings and put the points in that I need, hopefully make this title fight interesting towards the end.
You're 54 points off the back of Dan, with 135 points still to play for. You're bringing yourself back into this championship fight, aren't you?
Slowly but surely. Just depends how this race and the last couple of races go.
What can you do race 2 though, buddy? 9th on the grid. What can you do from there?
Hopefully pray people spin in front and I don't get collected and able to just go.
Well, mate, we wish you the best of luck for race 2 and have a good one. Oh, Kelly's dropped it there. Yeah, best of luck, Joe. Fury. I don't know if I said this on stream, Jamie. So, you know, there's obviously a lot of us going Donington, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I'm sat there the other day, and Fury and Fury's mum, they come and stay in the tent with me and Beth and my little and Brent. And the campsite asks for you to type the names in, right? So I'm sat there, I'm like, Matthew Duffin, Bethany Duffin, put my son's name in, put Bryn's name in, put Fury's mum's name in. Gets to Fury. Bearing in mind Fury's name is Joe. And I went, Fury Bates. And I'm like, that's actually not his name. Used his PSN name as his actual name. Can't get that one done. Don't worry, Fury. I won't let that happen, says Emplava. So he's going to try and obviously keep the record. N, just let it happen. Let me beat the record. Everybody slags the Acora off. Let the Acora have a record, N.
I reckon I might just have to come and join on a Wednesday night just to make sure you can.
Just to make sure I get the record, just so that the Acora is beaten.
No, just so you don't get the record.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, that's how it is. Well, I'm 2 wins behind your 12 in a season. I'm 3 behind Fury's with 4 races left. So it's a big ask, isn't it? 4 wins in the last 4 races. That's huge. It's going to be huge just to tie it. But big talking point, 1 point in it. Dan now leads it again.
But Andy's definitely getting pole here. He's 1.2 up. I think the only person I've seen quicker than a 120. We've seen quicker than a 122 tonight. Oh, Monkey Boy's gone a little wide into the final corner, so he's not going to improve. I think that might be KLF behind him.
It is. Good guess.
It is indeed. Is he going to find the 6/10 that he needs to get in front of Monkey Boy? No.
Mike then coming round. Can he find the time he needs to? That looks a little slow. Oh, has he saved enough fuel here? Has that gone slow so he saves a bit of fuel, do we reckon? Oh, has Mike then risked the fuel? Monkey Boy's had a spin in Sector 1. So he's off. So it will be Kelly to finish the lap time here. He's gone back to the pits. Kelly will be the first man to finish, and then Mike will be the second man to finish. On board Kelly then. 0.6 of a second will put him up to 5th.
Half a second down in the first sector altogether, so but unless he can have an absolutely amazing sector 2 and sector 3, his lap's pretty much over before it's already started.
Yeah, he's already sort of messed that one up. He's got to fire even harder. like you say, in this middle and final sector here, just to make sure he gets it right.
Coming up to sector 2. Oh, he's gained a bit of time.
He needs to gain 2 more tenths. He needs to find 8 tenths in the final sector. Can he do it? Mike's gone back to the pit, so it is just Kelly. So Peaceful not up on his time either, so it is just Kelly that we're waiting to get to the line.
Everyone misses that apex at the second to last corner. Oh, he's going to go a bit deep. Oh, yeah, he's gone deep.
Ruined it. That's the run over then. Jamie, talk us through it.
Yeah. So, pole position for the second time tonight is Andy in his BMW. Second is Peaceful Explosion. Third is Xmart. Fourth, Little H, hoping for a better race too. Fifth is Monkey Boy. Sixth, KLF 900. Seventh place for first of the non-qualifiers in KLF teammates at the Apex. Eighth place, Argent. Ninth place, Race 1 winner, Fury. 10th, Gary. 11th, the new championship leader and Orthodubs. 12th, his teammate D-Biggs, and on the back, or at the back of the grid, Disco McDisco Face. So BMW at the front and the BMW at the rear. Going to
be absolutely interesting to see who can do what. And Andy, pole position, that makes the championship, you'll never guess what, tied once again.
Yep.
So then, 135 constructors' points up for grabs. Sorry, 135 drivers' points up for grabs. 235 constructors' points up for grabs. And it's tied at the top of the championship.
Couldn't get better than this.
You couldn't.
Yeah.
Gary needs to outscore Andy and Dan by 18 points in this second race to stay in this title fight. Otherwise, he is out of it. Fury, I tell you what, if he was to finish in front of Andy and Dan again, he is slowly bringing himself back into this. Has he left it too late? Will he look back on races like Fuji Race 2 and then Texas, where he scored only 1 point, as races that if he'd have just got to the end, he could have possibly won this title?
I think what he's going to be hoping for is for Andy and Dan to have a coming together between now and the end of the season, because if those two have a coming together, then it brings Fury right into play.
Yeah, it does. Can Fury get this job done?
I tell you, Fury needs Andy and Dan to do Hamilton and Verstappen in the final two races.
Couldn't agree with you more. Then we're syncing up here, and for the final time tonight, we're going to get underway. And who is going to take this race win? That is going to be the question. The lights come on. It's green here. We're away. And Andy then is underway, and it's not the best of starts. Little Each, Xmart and Peaceful have all got away quite evenly. Gary on the grass in the background. Xmart trying to tuck underneath. Peaceful to the outside of Andy, and around into turn 1 they come. All the way pretty cleanly. Andy's still a bit twitchy there as they come into turn 1. Everybody away, but does rubby between Disco Dan and Fury, I think that was in the background. But Andy still leads through turn 2. Has he got the mistake sorted? Everybody cleanly through, as that's nice to see.
Yeah, he at the start of this race, he just doesn't look confident with the car.
Just doesn't look like he wants to get it turned in, doesn't look like he's got the confidence through the corners. On the power up the hill now. Look, runs a little wide. That's going to compromise his run a little bit, but Peaceful's already defending from Xmart, so he's too far behind at the moment.
KLF had a good start. He's up to 6th, I think. Who's he got ahead of?
Oh, Little Each off! Fury hit him! Sutty's round! Kelly and Fury got a whack there with the Little Each incident, and I think Sutty just got caught out by the slow-moving cars. What's happened to Biggs?
Yeah, Biggs has had a problem. Disco and Gary have had a very good first lap. 5th and 6th.
Yeah, 5th and 6th moved up the order absolutely brilliantly. Fury was going with them. Dan's now on the back of his dad, and Andy at the end of lap 1 leads. Xmart has got up to 2nd, and look at Disco pressure in the back on Monkey Boy then. Gary's got Fury attacking him. Here comes Disco just tucking underneath Monkey Boy. Monkey Boy tries to defend that. They get so close, and Disco through. Now they're stuck together, and now they're off of each other. I tell you what, a coming together of all sorts there, and how them two are still pointing the right way, I don't know. Where though is Dan? Did Dan get past Kelly down the start straight? Yes, he did.
Kelly's now defending from Arjun. A flash there from Kelly.
Yeah. On your way now, son. Let's go. Gary defending from Fury. Fury finishing in front of Dan, bringing himself back into this, but Andy leads this race at the moment. Monkey Boy just dropping into the clutches now of Fury and Gary. And Fury here, very, very late on the brakes, has been caught out by the braking of Gary and Monkey Boy. Fury's got to be patient here. Up the hill, through the left-hander. Up the hill once again. It rises towards the corkscrew. Here comes Gary and Monkey Boy. Side by, just behind each other. Down towards turn 1 they come. To the corkscrew they come. Monkey Boy still ahead of Gary. Huge wiggle. Huge wiggle, Monkey Boy. Gary and Fury right through they go. Job done. Easy as you like for them two.
Yep, that was an open invitation for them too.
Peaceful has got Disco now in his rear view mirror.
Fury having a look on Gary as well.
Overtaker in the chat, good evening to you, but he said nice clean race in race 1. Not so clean anymore, he says, in race 2. As Disco, again, looking racy in this race, has got on the back of that Ferrari. Fury's looking on the back of Gary, though. Where's Dan? Still down in 8th. Needs to get past Monkey Boy. Peaceful deep at the first corner. Disco, thank you, Mama, for the carrots. Up the inside he goes, P3. And the Slingshot Motorsport boys are first and third.
I think that was Argent and Kelly running a bit wide. I saw the grass being kicked up. Argent lets Kelly back through.
Yeah, Little Each and Big side by side in the background as well as Argent then. Oh, he's all over the place tonight, he's Argent. Not having his best showing to say he's had a good little season. That's Gary round. Gary's made another mistake. Dan was side by side with Monkey Boy. I think that one's job done. Yes, it is.
And he's 2.5 seconds up the road from X start, so he hasn't got massive pressure from him.
Has Andy sorted his problems out here?
Let's have a look. I looked a little bit twitchy there.
Still doesn't look comfortable, but it looks better. It looks better, but let's not forget it got worse the later the race went on, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that one.
It looks drivable. Although that's still really twitchy under the brakes.
I just feel like he's got no confidence in the corners. Disco's past Xmart in the background. So it's a 1-2 for these boys now. Will the team orders be let Disco go on double points?
I think if Disco gets close to that, you'd have to say just let him go. If he's a quicker car, then...
The thing is, as well, is that will really help for the Constructors' title at the moment as well. With Biggs 12th and Dan down in 6th, that will really help.
Yeah, so it all depends who the quicker car is. In the minute, it looks like Disco is far and away the quicker car.
As it stands at the minute, Andy will gain 25 points for the win. Dan down in 6th will only gain 10. But we're only on lap 4. The pit window is open, so the guys can pit any time now. We're at the end of this lap. All nice. Gary's down to 10th after his mistake last lap. Argent still trying to look on the back of Kelly. Gary looking at these two as well. Argent looks to the inside. He's left that one late. Did Kelly close the door on him there, or was Argent today $8 short? Not too sure on that one.
But Gary...
That's good, Gary.
Got up the inside. Oh, Kelly's going to come back at him though. Yeah, he's good.
He's having a look. Dan,
He's done him.
Got him done. I don't think Gary ever fully come off the grass there properly. So no. I think that's why it got him done. But look in the background, that's brought Sutty and D Biggs into play now with Kelly. With Argent, sorry. Yeah, so interesting to see what's going to happen here.
Yes, there's a little train at the back. Also comes into the pits, gets out of the dirt. Yeah, gets it slow down the Little Leech as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised Biggs hasn't come in there because Biggs had an off as well. But these two had damage at the beginning. Let's not forget when they got caught out. So that makes sense for me.
Yep, and once again, getting out of the dirt. Yeah, so I can see Gary coming in soon.
Yeah, I can see Gary coming in soon as well. Could this man make an early stop compared to Andy? Dan trying to get in on the back of Peaceful Explosion here.
So we've got the last lap. Disco 122s again. Gap. Andy's in the mid 123s.
Yeah, Disco's bringing that gap down to Andy like mad here. There's no way Andy can not let Disco through.
Yeah, as soon as that gap gets within half a second, you'd think Andy will let Disco through. But then from race 1, he didn't show. Seemed to want to let Disco through even when he was lapping him.
Gary's just past Kelly on the standings. Dan, though, on the back of Peaceful through the corkscrew and patiently waiting to get by as well. Kelly's got back ahead here. So Kelly fighting and giving his own here, his own little accord.
And Dan's got Peaceful, so I think Peaceful's made a mistake. There we go, and off dubs in. That's
a sensible choice for me from Dan. Get out the dirty air, lap 5, get in.
Look, Disco's already on the back. Look, he's 6/10.
A 25.2 from Andy on the last lap. Is this where Andy's starting to struggle a bit more than Disco? Lap 6, we'll have to wait and see. But is the call from the team now? Let Disco through. That's the call. We're interested to see what's going to happen.
Or is Disco going to be rear gunner?
Depends on what title you're looking at, doesn't it, I suppose?
Yeah. I think whatever. Andy's just got to lick his wounds for this round and go on to Nürburgring where he knows he's going to be...
Oh, Disco made a little mistake there. A little rear end as he come through the left-hander. Lost a bit of time to Andy there.
Well, he said in the post-race interview that he was struggling from Andy's dirty air. So if they're going to make this switch, they need to make it soon, because if not, Disco...
Oh, he's having a look! He's had a huge look at the corkscrew! My oh my, but do you know what? He made that stick. He's gained 0.4 of a second. Disco's just got so much more confidence on these brakes than Andy.
Yeah, I think he went for the Disco dive there.
I think he did. 0.2, 0.3 of a second. Look how much more confident on the brakes Disco is than Andy going into that last corner. He's got so much more time on these brakes than what Andy's got. Dan pits P11, X Martin.
Yep, X Martin into the pit, so that releases Fury up into third. Dan came out just behind Argent, who's struggling in this race. But yeah, look how close Disco is.
KLF in, Gary in as well. So that's 3 cars, or at least 2 cars for Dan that's been cleared.
I know in recent seasons, if say I've been quicker than the teammate, say for example Liam Gamer springs to mind, all that Aussie boy. Whenever I'd come up behind him, I'd say to him, just let me. And say if I'm the quicker car, I'd say right, let me through in a safe place, or roles reversed, I'll let him through in a safe place. But
same with me and Smithy this season as well. But they're going to lose 10 points here if Disco doesn't win this race, because there's 10 points on offer basically. He'll get 40 for his double points in race 2. He'll get 50 for his double points in race 2. So there's 10 points he could lose in this race. Biggs comes out P12. Little Leach back into the pits once again. So it's not been the night for Little Leach once again here. Dan though up to 8th ahead of Kelly. Still behind Argent. Oh, whoa. Where's he going with that one?
Yeah, he was going left, right.
Wide a little bit as well. Disco to the outside. Can he get the job done in towards turn 1? Clearly, been told they can race each other from the team.
He's going to try and go all the way around the outside. That's not going to work.
Andy, look at the exit speed on the corner. Disco's got such better corner speed than Andy here. Andy has no faith in this car at the minute. 24.6 from Andy, 24.2 from Disco, but you get a feeling that's Disco being held up a little bit here. Fury lapping similar to Andy behind. Andy just doesn't look like he's got the confidence in this BMW tonight.
No, he doesn't. But so we said it already. He needs to let Disco through. He's got a 4-second gap to Fury.
Yep. The problem is as well, the more Andy holds him up and the more these two fight, the more that's going to bring Dan into play later in this race. Andy then.
Fury's got a little bit of damage on the car. You can just see there's
he hit somebody hit Little Leach up the rear end, didn't he? If you remember, he was one of them involved in that rear end incident. Disco looking left, right, and centre again, all over the back of Andy here, but cannot make this move stick. He just cannot get past him.
Yeah, it looks like an 8-wheel BMW at the minute.
Andy, bit of a twitch on the exit to the corner. Disco. Oh, that was a late call.
Yeah, that was a late call. I think Andy said to him to box mate. He's definitely going to go for the undercut here.
Fury in as well. So these two going for the undercut on Andy then. What about Monkey Boy and Peaceful? Good showing from the Ferrari boys at the minute. Peaceful's in. Does this then release Dan? What is X-Mart's pitted? What is Argent going to do? Is Argent going to pit as well? Dan getting closer to X-Mart. Argent stays out.
Argent stuck. Disco's out. He's gone.
Yeah, that's a good stop.
So we say this about Disco getting stuck behind Andy. Oh, Disco's running on the gravel.
Yeah, that was a slow exit there from Disco McDisco Face. Fury didn't look like he got the cleanest of exits, but they've both got out well in front of Dan. Fury jumped X-Mart in all of this as well. And you're right, you just get a feeling that Argent here played a bit of a devil's advocate role here. Peace was down to 10th. He's had a nightmare pit stop. He's still in the pits.
Oh, what's happened to Pete? Oh, look, I think he's fixing front damage.
Peaceful's had a nightmare there. He's dropped to 12th place.
Yeah, he's not going to lose a place. A little H is further out. So yeah, so Disco is already on the back of Monkey Boy.
Yeah.
So you should make short work of him. Disco looks so confident in that BMW.
I think Disco will jump Andy here. I think Disco's done enough for the undercut in this one, if you ask me.
Andy stays out for another lap. Dan has finally done...
Dan's got past Kieran, and that's what he needs to do now. He needs to get on the back of X-Mart here. Back up to 6th place is Dan. 10 points for him to be scored in this one.
Yeah, so he needs to make quick work of X-Mart. Unless X-Mart comes into the pits, which he doesn't.
No, X-Mart's pitted.
Oh, X-Mart's pitted.
X-Mart's pitted, so Dan's got to pass him on track. The only person who's not pitted out the top 5 yet, top 6 should I say, is Andy and Monkey Boy. Disco's got past Monkey Boy. Little Leech, a huge twitch here. Is he going to stay out the way of the leaders coming through? There's Fury in the background. Disco lost a bit of time behind Monkey Boy then, lost about a second.
Yeah, sure. Little Leech will just probably stay to the right here. There we go. He stays to the right. Let's just Disco through. He's going to let Monkey Boy through. He does. There you go. Monkey Boy through.
Dan's looking quicker. This second draw for this race. Pushing it a bit more, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pushing it a bit more because he knows Andy is in the lead of this race. So
Andy's still yet to pit though, Jamie. And that gap is 29 seconds to Dan.
Yeah, the thing is, at the minute, we know Andy was in front before Dan pitted, so whatever Andy is outscoring Unorthodox, starting on the back of D-Diggs as well.
Gary's still not got past KLF here. Kelly's actually got 4 seconds over Gary, so Kelly still flying high at the minute. Argent still to pit though. So you'd imagine Argent will drop behind these lot.
See, look at Disco's just closed up. It's closed up half a second just down the straight.
Yeah, Disco's flying. Disco is absolutely flying tonight. He's been fantastic tonight.
Although Andy was quick on the last lap, but Disco did overtake Monkey Boy.
Yeah, Monkey Boy and Little Leech.
Yep. Fury's coming into play now. Look, you can just see Fury behind as well.
Yeah. X-Mart, what's happened there? Because he's dropped behind Argent.
Yeah, he's dropped behind Argent and Unorthodox, so I think Unorthodox has been helped.
Nice.
Given fifth place on the silver platter, so he's now got to catch 8 seconds up to Fury, so that is a very tough ask, especially how quick Fury was in that first race, unless Monkey Boy holds him up well and good.
Just depends. Duntix Monkey Boy's obviously got to pit. Andy, nice Disco.
Yeah, Disco's pushing big time.
When does Andy choose to pit? I think he's in now.
Yep, he is in now.
So Andy in. Let's see what happens here then. Disco versus Andy. Where will Dan be to Andy as well? Andy's stationary. He's on his way. Good stop from Andy. Disco was right on his tail, don't forget, before Disco pitted. I think Andy may have gained a bit of time here.
Disco's into the final corner. No, it's going to be tight.
Monkey Boy in as well.
You'll see, there's the other yellow BMW. I think Andy's just done enough to stay in front.
Yeah, I think he's gapped him a bit.
Oh no, Andy's gone wide a bit as well.
He has. So that's going to put Disco right back on the back of Andy, look. And it's as we were, except Fury's a bit closer.
Yeah, so Fury's gained a bit of time. So Andy really needs to put into perspective that you can see that grey and the silver and blue Mercedes in the background.
Got to think of the team's championship as well as his drivers' championship, hasn't he? Because if Fury gets on the back of Disco, that could lose Disco team points, especially on his double points tonight.
Yeah, so I think Disco's going to is very well clear of the relegation zone. Disco went a bit wide there.
Yeah, Disco very wide. He's dropped off the back of Andy. Couple of seconds here. Dan's now up to 4th after Monkey Boy's pitted. Monkey Boy came out P7.
Yeah, the gap though is about 10 seconds. So I think Dan's actually made a mistake.
Dan's lost that to Fury. The gap's 9 seconds. So Dan has lost out massively to Fury.
Yeah, X Mark's right on the back of Argent.
Argent's still the only guy to pit yet, so Argent not yet pitted. That's Little Leach.
Yeah, Little Leach just in front. I thought I could hear a Porsche just in front. The other Porsche.
Gary 9th, gaining on the back of Kelly, though. He's not really done a lot, has he, this second race, has Gary?
No. Oh, Argent's gone wide. Is Argent going to block bail for the pits? I think
he has, yeah. So the last man in, I reckon he'll come out just around Peaceful Explosion. So that is everybody pitted then and done in this race. But Disco, again, closing the gap to Andy.
Yeah, he's clear. I was going to say he would have been quicker last lap because that was Andy's out lap. But Andy looks a bit more confident. He looks like he's pulling away just slightly, or is Disco's just struggling a bit? Because we saw in the second half of race 1 that Disco was struggling.
We saw Disco struggle, and we saw Andy struggle even more. Gary has done, Kelly, and I said Argent come out behind these around the Peaceful area, and that's where he is, because has he just dropped it in the pit lane? Nope, no. Kept it.
He's come out here.
There's Biggs, there's Sutty, yeah. There's Peaceful. So Argent in the thick of 2 battles here.
Peaceful's right on the back of Sutty.
Disco's got the gap down to 0.4 of a second now. Disco's really flying on Andy. Dan will be hoping that they do change stations as well, because this will mean that it'll be points gained for Dan if Andy drops another place here.
Yeah, but I mean, is Andy's? I think Andy's priority is going to be on the Drivers' Championship, knowing that.
Yeah.
I think the constructors is probably a long shot.
Well, the thing is, at the minute, so if this finishes as it is,
Andy was really slow there.
He was slow. They'll get 45 points plus whatever they got in qualifying and fastest lap this rate, yeah? So 45 points for finishing. Then you double that, or double 20 of them. That'll put you to 65 points for today's race. Maybe even 75. Or maybe even, 75 if Disco wins this race. Dan and Biggs are going to score 13 plus 6. They're going to score 19 points. So they're going to pull quite the margin back. But Andy's got to let Disco... In fact, even if it stays as it is, they're still going to pull 30-odd points back. But Andy really could do with letting Disco go. That gap's 0.2 of a second. Argent is so wide there. That was nearly track limits as he has a wiggle on the exit of the corner. Argent was so wide, he was nearly in another district, in another state. As Disco then, look, he's starting to get stronger and stronger in this race now.
Yeah, he's got to look for the... I think he's got to, in a way, surprise Andy with that taking him out. I think really...
Fury's quicker than the pair of these two, though. So Fury's coming here, Jamie.
Yeah, so, again, Andy's told Disco to stay behind, so...
Is Andy's tyres just starting to go off, but we're not seeing the dramas as much? Do you know what I mean? Is he just starting to lose a bit of time here? Because look how steady he is through turn 1. Look how slow it is for Andy. Keep an eye on Fury, says PN. Indeed, because that gap is now under 2 seconds. He's pulled some nearly 1.5 seconds out of these two on the last lap. Fury's coming for another race win.
I think if Disco does get ahead of Andy, I think Andy's going to sink like a stone.
Yeah, I think Andy's going to get full behind Fury. What's happened to Dan? He's fighting with Xmart. So has he made a mistake somewhere? A 134 last lap. Dan's had a huge mistake somewhere. Xmart settles, tucks in behind Dan. So that is job done. Dan then has lost a lot more time to the leaders than what he would have liked. Struggling tonight is Dan, but still trying to make the best of a bad situation. Fury, though, gap back up to 2.3. The leaders are at 0.2 of a second. And again at the corkscrew. Disco looking up the inside of his teammate, but Andy giving him no quarters here.
Yeah, see.
And he's round! He's dropped it! He's round after the corkscrew! Disco leads, Fury second! And because Dan's made one mistake, he's no longer by Andy. Alright, he was some 8 seconds behind Fury, but he'd have been closer. Now then, what's that done to his tyres?
That's going to have killed his tyres. He needs to be so gentle. So, I was going to say, we've got got a repeat of race 1.
The thing is does Disco have the pace in clear air now to keep that Mercedes at bay? Because we've seen Disco's pace until he got onto the back of Andy. Little Each in the pits again, not being his night at all, while Sutty, Biggs, Argent are trying to battle it out. Maybe even Kelly in that fight as well. X-Mart still on Dan. Dan will notice Andy's dropped to third and loses even more points. But Andy there just coming under pressure from his teammate and made the mistake. Argent on Kelly further up. Looks to break. Gets the job done. Kelly defending really hard. This is bringing Biggs into play. It could possibly bring Sutty and Mike into play. I don't think so. Actually, I think they may have made a mistake somewhere because they look like they've dropped off the back. Biggs right on the back of these two. Having a great little scrap. And down towards to start lap 16. Here we go.
Argent going to the outside of Kelly. He's tried this once before.
Yep, ended up in a different state, and he's gone to a different state again. That's twice, Kieran.
Oh,
yep, we'll let you off with that track limits there.
And Sutty's now going to get through, and his Piesel's a long way back.
Yeah, he must have got some damage somewhere. He's into the pits. Argent hit the wall hard. Argent hit the wall hard. Now Andy's tyres are cooked, says PN Motorsport. That will be the big question. Are Andy's tyres cooked? Can Andy keep this going in race 2? He is some 6 seconds. Peaceful's missed his pit box. When it rains, it pours.
X-Mart is still quite close to Dan. So if Dan makes one mistake, that orange McLaren is going to be up his inside.
Indeed it is. Dan needs to keep the pace on though, because Andy has made one mistake, and the longer this race goes on, is there going to be another one? We saw what happened race 1. Fury and Disco, couple of tenths in it out front, but Fury just getting that gap to over a second. Can Fury get that second race win here tonight? What's happened to Kelly?
I think he's dropped it out of the corkscrew, so he's lost a position to his teammate.
Andy Biggs as well. Biggs was behind him.
Andy's made another mistake.
Oh, he has. He has. It's gone up to 13, 14 seconds now. Andy's tyres, are they starting to go? It was at this stage in the last race he started to make multiple mistakes. Is this where Dan could get ahead and do this?
Yeah, he very well could. Fury's got the gap to 8 tenths. That's the only battle on track now that Kelly's made his mistake. Is Disco going to be pressured into a mistake like he did in race 1?
Well, this will be the question. Fury getting that gap. What's the time's going to be this time around from the pair of them? A 23.4 for Disco, 23.3, so not much in it this time around at all. Andy's time, though, starting to drop away, and as he comes into the last corner, is he just now starting to push too hard? Dan has that gap under 9 seconds. Fury's trying to get the gap under a second. Look at Dan, 2.3 now to X-Mart. He's upped his pace a bit. He knows Andy's making mistakes. He can see that time tumbling down, and Dan just knows he's got to finish ahead. Another podium for Dan. It'll be a cracking night. Biggs trying to get on the back of Gary as well here. There's battles up and down this pack at the minute.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on the Fury Disco battle because that gap's half.
That's gapped down to half a second. What's happened to Disco? He must have had a wiggle somewhere because that gap has come right down. Even Andy's gained a bit.
I don't think he's lost too much time. I think he just lost a couple of seconds because couple of tenths because I think it was about 8 tenths of a second.
Well, we'll have a look as we get to the line then. Obviously through the corkscrew.
Yeah, it's gone back up to about normal now, down to 6 tenths. So I don't think Andy actually gained too much on him.
Gap back under 15 seconds, Andy to Disco then at the minute. But is Andy just pushing too hard though? Andy's coming up through the corkscrew, so that's going to balance itself back out, you'd imagine though. This is where Andy dropped it 2 laps ago. Did you just see how steady he took that through there?
Yeah, so I think me and you take that line very wide and he's
very tentative on the throttle there, isn't he? He's very, very scared to get on the power. What's the lap time going to be? Disco loses a 10th to Fury. 23.7, good lap from Andy. Dan, though, 10 seconds behind Andy now. So Andy's just extended his gap to Dan. No more mistakes from Andy is needed here. Otherwise, he could starting to be in a bit of danger. Gary has lost out to Biggs and now to Sutty. That rear wing slightly bent on Gary's car.
No, I think that's just how it's meant to be. Yeah, that's just how it's meant to be.
No, like sort of like squiggly, not straight.
Oh yeah, that is.
It's not bent. You look at it like at the corkscrew, it was like an aerial shot. Look at it on that right-hand side. Has there been a bit of contact somewhere? Gary then on the back of Sutty, Little Leach. Oh, no, I thought he was losing it. He's getting right out the way. And here comes Fury into a 10th. Now a Disco's wide. Is this Fury's opportunity? He's well on the outside, and he's done it. Fury leads this race on lap 19 and 20. Fury is in the lead. Disco going to fight back here then.
Disco, he's got to push as hard as possible. Fury, if not, Fury's going to get a London bus.
Fury could get 3 wins on the bounce here. He could get a London buses on the night. Fury absolutely flying at the minute. Andy's lost a bit more time to these 2 leaders as well. Dan's got that gap back to 9 seconds to Andy, or just under 9 seconds. Andy needs no mistakes in these final 3 laps. Fury, though, leads this race. Look at Disco's time. It was a bad lap from him.
Oh yeah, that was a bad lap indeed. We'll see. Oh, I think has Gary made a mistake? Gary has.
Yeah, he's made another one. Drop behind Kelly now.
Yeah, I think he got.
Who's that? Oh, both Porsches off. Yeah, both. Gary went wide as well. Is Little Leach wide to let the lead cars through? Not too sure. Fury's mum. Come on, Fury. How's everyone's fingernail, says PM Motorsport. Well, how is everyone's fingernails? Because Fury! What's happened to Fury?
He's dropped it.
He's now back to second.
Where's Andy? Andy's
way behind. Way behind. 9 seconds to Dan.
The London bus has gone away.
Not yet, it hasn't. Not yet, it hasn't. 2 and a bit laps to go. Anything can happen in this race. It's still game on.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone wide. Has the London bus pulled back into the depot?
That's the question we need to know. Can Fury get on this towards the end of this race? Andy into the penultimate corner. He's not made any mistakes for a couple of laps now. Is that him back into a rhythm? Fury just needs to settle.
Fury needs to settle and hope Disco has a mistake, because I don't think he's going to catch.
No.
He's going to get 2 points.
He's got to pull 1.4 seconds each lap.
He's pushing. I think now you'd accept that you're going to get second unless Disco makes a mistake. You don't push.
Yeah, completely agreed on that one. Dan to Andy last lap. Dan gained a 10th, so that's not enough.
And Andy's got good pace now.
Yes, back in the consistent pace, isn't he? Running at them consistent lap times. Did he just have that one? He had 2 mistakes. One, was it an error because Disco was putting pressure on him? The other one we didn't see. It was off screen, but yeah, you have to feel that Andy made a mistake somewhere else. Has he made another little mistake? No, I think that's Disco just extending his lead as Gary comes onto the back of Kelly once again.
Kelly's had a good night.
Yeah, decent night of points. Lost out to Argent at the end. Argent opportunistically gaining 2 places on the last couple of corners.
Yep. Here comes the Porsche. Down the straight, is he going to have a look in stone 1?
Nope, Kelly chops the nose off, the old Kelly chop.
He goes to the outside, he's going to hang it all the way around. No. The gap's at 1.7. Disco's had done a 125 last lap.
Yeah, so did Disco make a mistake? Fury at 23.6. He needs that kind of a lap time this time around as well, because this is the last lap. Andy's got the gap down as well, but he's so far keeping it nice and consistent. I think he's going to need more than just one error here. Little Leach stays well out the way of Disco with Disco face. Pulls back in now. Fury's not quite close enough for Little Leach to let him through. You have to feel here, if you're Fury, you'd want Little Leach right out the way as soon as possible so you can get on the back of Disco. Fury's coming at him. Little Leach stays well out the way, stays wide. Now, half a lap. Fury can sniff the fumes coming off the back of the BMW.
Yep. How's your nerve, Disco?
How is your nerve? Especially when there's a spinning Argent up the front. That's not going to matter to him.
No, he's clear of that. He's just got to keep it nice and tidy these last few corners. Oh, KLF has lost the position to
Gary. Yep, he can fight that one back though, because they're going to get another lap here. But is this going to be the job done for Disco with Disco face? Had the pace race 1, couldn't finish it. He's had the pace here. He's had to fight hard with his teammate. And through the final corner he comes now. It's going to be a win for Disco McDisco Face. He's not won for quite a while, but a win here tonight for in race 1 for him. Fury, another race on the podium. That is fantastic from him. Gap down to 8 seconds, Andy to Dan. Andy, though, looks like he's going to hold on for that 3rd place and get the podium in the end. We'll check fastest lap later. Dan off the podium in 4th place. Not to be for him in this second race. Andy, though, in 3rd. So we'll have to get Andy in here. Dan looks like he's going to be 4th place at the end of this one. Get your votes for driver of the day in the comments. We'll read them in just a moment. Dan comes across for P4. Xmart looks like he's going to take a P5. Good race for Xmart. Solid points once again here for him. Who is P6? Monkey Boy. That's a good finish.
Yeah, it's a very good finish, Monkey Boy. He gains points on KLF.
Yep, gains points on KLF crucially in his championship. P6 for him. Peaceful's going to finish a lap down in 12th. Little Each as well. He's only going to finish 13th place. He's a couple of laps down as well. So Monkey Boy in 6th. Peaceful's going to get 13th. Out the final corner comes D Biggs for a 7th place. Points for the constructors. Has Slingshot Motorsport brought the gap down? Sooty Apex, I'm sure we'll take an 8 points. He's on double points tonight, so a 6th and an 8th. That'll give him 18 to double. Gary looks like he's going to get the final, the victory over Kelly for 9th place. Kelly's going to come across to take 10th. Good job from him. And 11th place will go the way of Argent. Then fastest lap of this race, 22.9 from Disco. I reckon when it loads, it's going to be the fastest lap. Yeah, it is. 22.9 Disco then. The fastest lap again. Jamie, get Andy in. Save the replay. And let's try and sort out these championship tables so that everybody can know the score of what is happening and what is going on in this one tonight. So obviously this will be before the drop scores are taken. Gary now cannot win the title. But the top 3 all still can. And more importantly, Fury gained over Dan and Andy once again. Disco then with a good double points night, as is Sooty. But Andy leads the way, 2 points clear of Dan. Before drop scores, we'll have to check that at the end. 2 points is the gap. Fury, the gap's down to 49 points. Left with 108 points left in the championship. So Fury really bringing him slowly, but he's bringing himself back in. That would have been 39 had he won that race. That could have been even closer for Fury. Gary 4th, he's 134 back. He now cannot win the championship. BT Targa's 5th still after tonight not being able to make it. Xmart in 6th. He's 182. He's 14 behind his teammate. He's only 6 clear of D Biggs. Disco, after a great double points night, moves up to P8. He's 3 behind D Biggs. Sooty, after a good double points night for himself, he is some 7 behind Disco. He's pulled 16 clear of Argent, who's dropped to 10th. Emo Guy's 11th. Peaceful tied with Emo Guy in P12. Monkey Boy goes back above Kelly by 2 points as Kelly drops back into that relegation zone after a great night in 14th. Little Each up to 15th and Maze Gamer bottom. The Constructors title, shake and bake, are 1 point ahead of Slingshot Motorsport. It could not be closer in that one as well. Sandbags Motorsport pretty much out the running with Fury on his own at the minute. They're 99 behind, still in the running as well as Team Prolapse, but that's all but done for them. Leech Motorsport cannot now win it. Audio Sport Prolapse are 40 clear of Simplay Racing, who move above Forever Forward. And I believe we've got Andy and Disco in here, so we'll start with Andy. Sum that one up for us, because tonight looked like a struggle.
Nightmare. I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm not. It's not coming together. The first race I was on the hard tyres, and they just would not light up for whatever reason. I don't know why. They just wouldn't switch on. And you summed it up on commentary. I was drifting through every single corner. I was not in control at any point. I was just drifting from one corner to the next, and just sliding through to the next one. It was a nightmare, literally a nightmare.
Race 2 looked a lot better for yourself, looked a bit more under control of that one. Was you soft or hard?
I went soft for the second race because I thought, got to learn a lesson, haven't you? You can't do the same thing and expect a different result. So
did they drop off towards the end of that second race?
They did drop off towards the end. They were a lot better than the hards, obviously, but still weren't great. I still made a couple of mistakes. My teammate Disco, class to the field tonight, fastest man out there, he blitzed it, and he was miles quicker than me. I felt bad holding him up, but I needed the points for the championship. I wasn't going to let him pass because I need every point I can get, because Dan is breathing down my neck. So,
obviously, we head to Nürburgring next week. bit more of a popular track in some views. What can you do there? Night race as well. What can you do?
Hopefully do a bit better than this week, to be honest. I've managed to get through this. I had a real bad night for whatever reason. I don't know why. Just haven't been able to get going at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, get through this. Hopefully next week I'll be back to normal. But the Nürburgring and Spa are both tracks that I like. So to be in the Championship League going into them for the last 2 rounds, it's not the worst situation in the world. So who knows? Who
knows, indeed. Well, congratulations tonight. Better second race than first race, and we can't wait to see what you can do next week.
Cheers. Well done to the top 2.
We got Fury. Fury, you yet? Yep, Joe's in. Joe, you had the lead for a minute. It looked like it was going to be 3 race wins on the bounce for you, but it slipped away at the end, made a mistake.
Yeah, just got a bit too much on the curb. Snapped on me, bounced a bit, and managed to not get as much damage, luckily.
A race win and a second place brings you 49 points behind Andy now at the moment. You've got to be happy with tonight's work. Again, I think that's a run of 7 races that you've been either first or second.
Yeah, I'm pretty glad about that. Just trying to keep the gap as close, bring the gap down to Andy and Dad as much as I can. Hopefully bring a title fight to the last 2 rounds.
Now, sorry, just reading something there. Going into Nürburgring next week, night race, home soil for the Mercedes-Benz as well as the BMW. What can you do around there?
Just gotta wait and see. Haven't had a chance to practice it yet, but hopefully it sticks.
Well, we wish you the best luck, mate. We can't wait to see what you do next week.
Cheers, and good racing to the top 2. Oh, Disco and Andy, sorry.
And Disco, race win. It's been a long time since your last one, but you finally got another one over the line. It's been since the second race of Red Bull Ring was your last race win. Your last podium was the first race of Alton Park, and then tonight you've got a podium and a race win, and 2 fastest laps on double points. That's the way to do it.
It's been a long time coming, boys. The relief when I crossed that line was just, you wouldn't believe it.
Did you think at the end when Fury got past you that was it? And another second place, another little error that had cost you?
Yeah, really. I was just going to hope that I could get on the back of him again and force pressure, and thankfully it seems to have worked. So, but yeah, I thought I'd bottled it again. I was just like, this season will never bloody end.
1 point in it, obviously before the drop scores get recalculated. 1 point in the constructors' fight. That your double points night has really brought you two back into play for a constructors' title here. That's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean the final 3 circuits for myself were always the stronger ones besides Red Bull, obviously. So I think just about the right time to come back into form. Hopefully we can take it to Nürburgring and do something next week as well. I'm pretty strong round there. Earlier this season I was setting world records round there in the GTEs, so you know it's a favourite circuit of mine, and then Spa as well to finish. So hopefully we've timed the charge on the title just right.
Well, congratulations on this week, Disco. It looks like the chat have gave you driver of the day. I'm going to give you my vote for driver of the day as well, Jamie.
I'm going to give you my vote for driver of the day as well.
So there you go, an absolute clean sweep on the driver of the day.
The first one.
Well, congratulations, well deserved tonight, absolutely well deserved. Jamie, sum tonight up for us.
You just could not script tonight. Race 1, you just looked at the script for race 1 and just set it on fire and threw it away because that was just manic. And then race 2 as well, you just didn't know whether Andy was going to keep control of it. But say for the final 2 rounds of this championship, that's going to be brilliant.
It's getting closer and closer. 2 points separated before the drop scores and 1 point in the team's championship. We'll be back live on Saturday midday for the 6 hours of Fuji. Join us live for that one midday, 12 p.m. GMT for that, and then we'll be back live next Wednesday and Thursday for your GT3 action at the Nürburgring, the second and last night race of the season, where Dan and Kelly will be bringing you the action of Pro-Am on a Wednesday night. Can I wrap the title up against Emplava then, or will I have to wait till Spa? And next week, next Thursday, join me and Jamie live once again, where this title is far from over. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night.